Hello. Hey. Hi. I'm back. I can actually say for once, it's been a minute. It's been a full week. Hi, good to see you. Oh my god. Yeah, it's been a full week. I had to take a break because a lot of things. I'm gonna obviously talk about them, let you know a little bit about why I had to pull away. I mean, it's justified, and everyone needs a little bit of a break. But I thought I'd talk about it a little bit. But yeah, to start off, I'm in a super good mood compared to last week. I'm in a much better place with a lot of stuff, and I missed this a lot. Like the technical issues at the start of the week last week, just bullets straight through my heart. It was so terrible. To start off, I had internet maintenance on Monday, like 2-3 hours before I was ready to play. Of course. So that was like, that just sucked. And I had just gotten to the groove of like the 5 times a week thing and working on that, and I just rearranged stuff and I was super excited. And then, all right, well, I'm not streaming on Monday. And then I'm like, all right, you know what? We'll recover. I can do something on Tuesday. And then my Switch dock decided to not charge my Switch. Because apparently the outlet was fucked. So the dang thing just wasn't charging, and when I went to like load it up, because I prepare like 10-15 minutes before, it just was like blah. So that was done, and then by the time that Wednesday came around, I was downtrodden. There's really no other way to say it. Like the technical issues and like outside stressors and all that, I was just like, you know what? I need to stop. I need to pull away. I need to take a breath. And I did. And I tell you what, like, taking a break from everything sometimes is good. Obviously, you shouldn't shirk responsibilities. I'm gonna say that right out the door. Shirking responsibility is bad. Do what you have to do, even if you don't want to. But, like, at least clearing your mind, like, going outside, seriously. I hadn't, like, actually gone anywhere in a little bit, and I went outside, got a breath of fresh air, went to a park, sat down, and just kind of enjoyed everything for a second, and it just, oh my god. So if you're in like a stressed or sad place or anything like that, it's weird. Everything turns dull. Like everything that's normally enjoyable just kind of goes, it kind of gets this blasé. Like you go outside and you look at the trees and you're like, all right, well, there's trees. When you're in a good mood, it's like, wow, everything's so green and vibrant and wonderful, and it's summertime, and it's like I didn't feel like that last week. Of course, I wouldn't have gone outside if I was looking to stare at the sun for a little bit. But yeah, of course. Obviously, I'm still in a semi-uncomfortable place for me because I'm 4,000 miles away from home. That's not going to change until what is it? Next month, roughly? No, August. August is when I return back. That'll be its own fiasco, but that's like a planned thing. I'm not worried about that right now. Oh goodness. But anyway, yeah, it was a lot of factors. It's always a lot of factors with stuff like that. But I need to just what's the phrase? Stop and smell the roses, and I did, and I'm much happier now. Stuff's reorganized, life's reorganized. I'm actually like excited to do things instead of just kind of going through the motions. It's nice. It's a good feeling. But I did miss this. It's fun to just turn on a game, play a game, and just shoot the shit. So, I'm happy to be back, first off. I'm going to try to keep as regimented of a schedule as I can, which is why what I was doing before was I was announcing, like, what stream I was going to do and, like, making thumbnails and all that, like, hours before. And what that would do is, thank you, is that would, like, completely set me up, like, all right, I know what I'm going to do. Let me make sure I do this. And then if I ever like lost passion or something happened, it felt bad because I was like, I'm an hour away from stream. Am I gonna cancel? I just scheduled this. So I'm doing the whole prep stuff like 2 hours before. So there's way less of a window. So if something happens that comes up, it's like super sudden and not like, I think that'll work better. It'll also give me more time to just kind of enjoy the day instead of, you know that feeling of when when you prep for a task and you feel like all the time in between is like, all right, I gotta get ready for this. If I crunch that a little bit more, I can enjoy the rest of the day. But that's a personal scheduling thing. That's besides the point. It should be a lot better. It should be a little bit more functional. So, with that being said, I haven't played games for a long period of time in a little bit. OD. So, we're going to play a bit. Oh, shit! What the hell happened? Why did it just go away? That was... What the hell? Thank you for catching that. Where did my voice go? I don't know when it cut off, but what I was saying is... I'm gonna build a gunpowder farm so that I can use my elytra to go fly to cherry blossom biomes when I upgrade to 120. Why did that mute? That was so stupid. I don't know, whatever. I looked over right when you said that, and I saw the bar was grayed out. I don't know. All right, whatever. It's technical issues. I never said I was perfect. I'm pretty used to the scuff these days. But anyway, enough of me rambling. I've rambled for long enough. I've said my piece. I obviously have other stuff going on in the background that I'm actually like working towards properly now, instead of saying, "Oh yeah, I'll get to it." No, I'm actually getting to it now. But that's for later. Probably announced that in the future. There's a bunch of stuff that I've already announced, like the EP and like upgrades to the stream and stuff that I'm still working on, and yada yada, minor little details. Yes, indeed. So, let me swap on over, and I will launch Minecraft, and hopefully it won't crash, because this game is super unstable when it comes to obifying. That's the hope, anyway. Back to normal. Back to normalcy. Or abnormalcy, as I'd like to say. A lot of things happened last week too. Like from all over the place. But it's fine because every week is a new day, and every week is a new week, and you know the rules. I just make sure all my stuff's good. Yeah, it is. Alright, cool. Good old vibe time. What is that noise? That's not the... Oh, alright. Never mind. I thought I was hearing like a subtle buzzing noise. Minecraft. Oh wait, I'm still hearing a subtle buzzing noise. Hang on. Nope, it's gone. Did it just crash again? Oh, this game, man. It hates me. I think, you know, if I had one of those pie charts that showed every single time I've played Minecraft on stream and like number of times crashed per stream, the number of times where it didn't crash would be probably, goodness, like twice. It's pain. I did set this up. It's just, you know, it's technical stuff. I actually cannot wait to go home and go back to my normal big meaty PC. It's not really that big and meaty. It's like mid-grade, but it's better than this one that I'm using right now. There'll still be technical stuff, but hey, I'll actually have like a... Oh, I don't think I ever mentioned this. I actually, like, on my old PC back home, I actually own a Stream Deck. So I'd be able to, like, swap stuff a lot faster, which which I'll be super pleased with. That way I won't have to, like, constantly tab over and, like, click all these different things to make sure that stuff swaps. I can just tap a button. And the thing works. Yeah, it's one of those tiny little ones. It's not the big one, because I'm a cheapskate. But it works for what I want, so. Soon. But for now, we enjoy the end of June and the month of July as much as possible. Oh my god, we're back! We're returned. We return. The world has to load up a little bit. I hope my render distance isn't trash. 1612. Okay, cool. It's been a minute. The world doesn't know what to do with itself. Am I starving? Why am I starving? Good Lord in heaven. There we go. Now, normally I'd say, oh, I haven't played on this this world since last week. Yeah, the roof. I haven't played on this world since last week, but no, it's been 3 weeks. I think 3 weeks now, which is actually I think the longest since March Music Mayhem, where I didn't play all the regular stuff. Man, when I say I kind of dropped this like a stone. Indeed. Okay, what was the last thing I was actually doing? So I had built the Enderman farm. Was that the last thing I did? I think so. I think the Enderman farm was the last thing I did. Hi, Fletcher. But yeah, I'm currently in the industrialization phase of this world here. Because we've beaten the game, we've made a village where I'm not like turning it into a what would you call it, like a stock for them to just be trapped forever. I actually like having villagers around, even if I can't find them sometimes. But yeah, I'm definitely in the industrialization phase where I want to build stuff and get resources quick and not have to worry about like killing mobs or taking 6 years to do one thing, you know? Yeah, I do feel that it is one of those hyper-focus games. One of my best friends, like he has occasional game burnouts. I think we all do. But one game that he just, it's basically like a mobile game to him. It's so funny. He has a very high level account on Hypixel, and he'll log on to like check his minion stocks and all of his resource like management and all these things, and he'll just have it AFK running all the time. Like he'll be playing a different game and he'll have Hypixel running in the back and all that sort of stuff. It's so funny because like I said, he treats it like a mobile game where he logs in every day and just makes sure that all of his resources are in order. I get it. I do. Hypixel is one of those things that you have to be super invested into in order for it to like grip you for long periods of time. I don't think I ever really got into Hypixel proper. I've always been a vanilla or specific mod Minecraft person. Like sometimes doing mega mod packs with like 60, 80, 100 mods is super fun because it changes up the gameplay. But I don't know, I just like building in vanilla Minecraft. I know that's weird to say, I guess, because everyone's like, oh, but modded Minecraft's so much more fun. No, just build in normal Minecraft. It's relaxing. You don't have to worry about 60 resources going into like a machinery to make like a pebble. Right, yeah, that's my exact point. Vanilla's a good one. That plus, I don't know, there's this sense of accomplishment, and even though it is base game, you're still doing something. And all the farms made for base game, all the like work and guides and all these things. It's super nice. It's just a fun time. Oh right, I set up that composter. I forgot I made an auto composter. Super helpful. All these extra seeds. Nice thing about that massive wheat farm that I always used to get bread. Now that I actually have a method of like getting rid of all my seeds, it's such a good source of bone meal. Right, yeah, exactly. That plus like building in vanilla Minecraft gives you, I don't know. I guess it improves architectural abilities because when you think about it, Minecraft is very limited. It's super expressive. You can do a lot with this game, but it's very limited. Everything's a cube or a cutout of a cube or stuff like that. And when you think about it, like mod packs often add different block types, different colors, different shapes. There's a mod that makes it so that you can go into like literal pixel level, like a 64th of a block and stuff like that. And at that point, you're just basically making a Blender sculpture. You're not even playing Minecraft anymore. But having everything be a meter by meter block that you can cut into shapes and such, it's very limiting. It's extremely limiting. And the amount of architectural projects that people have come out with over the years and like developed and done all these things. There's two people I can think of who are absolutely fantastic architects. One is Grian. Grian is like the quintessential Minecraft architect. And another is, what's that guy who did the super flat? Is his name Mogswamp? I think so. But they're fantastic builders. Mog undersells it a bit more than Grian does. Grian is super dedicated to his builds. But it's a crazy to see how much time and effort people put into. I know there's like world edits and things like that, but you actually have to like design. It's also sort of a gateway drug to something like Blender. Hello, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. I know it's been a bit. Yeah, I like the base game too. That's my whole thing. Though having a texture pack and shader brings it up to parity with like, I don't know, just modern things. Oh, hydrate, thank you. I've gotten into the habit of keeping a glass of water on my desk now. Thanks to all you wonderful people. Hydration is important, especially when you're a rambler. I'll check out this. I actually have a side tab open for what resources I'm going to need today. It's a lot. It's more than for the Enderman farm. The Enderman farm is actually quite simple. But we're going to have to figure that one out. Also, I remember back when I did the Enderman farm, like Twitch was dying or something. I don't know what was up. I'm still on that because when I was building the Enderman farm, I like the stream delay kept getting more and more, and I was dipping into like crazy low bit rate, and I was like, is that my computer or is that Twitch? And I guess it was Twitch that day because the next day it was fine. But yeah, I have a list of resources. It's gonna take me a lot longer to get them than last time. Wait, did I forget how this farm goes? No, it's for oak saplings in the corners. Yeah. Might have to actually get more saplings because I haven't replanted this. Yeah, sometimes they do a little bit of trolling. But you know, it's a platform. It's not 100% reliable. I mean, it should be, but it's technical stuff. It's like when your internet provider decides to just do maintenance in the middle of the day. I don't even want to start with that. What was I doing? Right. Finding saplings. It's down here. Oh, gee, I forget how many acacia saplings I have. What am I going to use all this acacia wood for? But yeah, this isn't a way prep to like properly upgrade to 120 because I could do it right now. I could do it right now. It's just because of how much world gen I've loaded, it's going to be such a huge distance to find a cherry blossom biome in this world. Like when I loaded up the extra world to like start exploring 120 stuff, that was guaranteed because it was just right there. But here I'm pretty sure I've explored at least 6,000 blocks in every direction. So in order to properly, figure stuff out, I'm gonna have to really plan that out. I never have enough acacia. Unless I'm rich in wood, I'll never have enough acacia. I do at one point want to make a wood farm. I feel like that'd be fun. Though they can be a bit finicky. I made a mangrove tree farm one time on another single player world. Oh god, is it so jank. Mangrove trees never grow properly because there's a certain algorithm to how their roots and the actual tree itself grows. So sometimes the auto spawning TNT will get bunkered in a corner and it just destroy everything, and it's just like, oh god, why have you forsaken me? But automating stuff is just helpful for builders. That's how I feel anyway. Is it cheating? Nothing's cheating in Minecraft. Oh, that's right, I grabbed chorus fruits. Oh, I also fell out of the world a couple times, I remember. That's fair. I saw I saw an animation a bit ago. I don't know if it's famous or not, but it's of Minecraft Steve and Alex. And Alex is depicted as like the do-it-yourself girl, and Steve's the automated. And she's basically like a farmhand, physical labor, and he's just sitting on his laurels while gold piles into his lap. She's looking at him all cross. I never used to automate stuff. I always used to do things hands-on or ask for help with collecting resources. But I've gotten used to it now. Especially for big builds, it's easier to just have some degree of automation. Because think about it, if your build requires like 10,000 logs, do you know how long it takes to cut down one tree and get 6 logs? Now think about doing that until you get 10,000. That is what we call systematic pain. And I'd like to avoid that as much as possible. Same with XP grinding and other things like that. Really? I mean, that's dedication. I respect it. I wouldn't say I'm lazy, I just think smarter, not harder. It's nice. It helps. It helps situations. Sometimes, though, the amount of like engineering that goes into automated stuff like that is sort of mind-melting. Speaking of automation, I know the sugarcane farm is awfully slow because it's tiny, but how are we doing so far? It's been a minute. Yeah, that's about right. I get more from just reaping the field over here. That's fair. Yeah, no, it is truly easy. Collecting stuff by hand is never not easy. It's just easier to have a thing do it for you. But it's whatever you're used to. I know that some stuff that I do on a regular basis, and I'm not talking about video games, I'm talking about like things in general. I either take really roundabout solutions or I brute force things because that's just what I'm used to. And there's obviously like an easier solution or a cut through or workaround or things like that. But when you're like really used to something, it almost becomes second nature to the point where if you tried to take the shortcut, it would be more complicated. So like, I don't know, let's say you're working on an art project, I don't know, just as an empirical example. And everyone says, oh, you could use like Photoshop or Clip Studio Paint or something like that. It's got multiple layers and brushes and blah 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 blah. But I'm serious here. I've seen people do it. It's kind of insane. You're someone who's used like MS Paint your entire existence. So all of a sudden switching to like multi-layers and all these things, it's daunting. Where you can make just as good of a product with your incredibly jank program because you've spent so much time and energy on it that you basically know the ins and outs. I'm saying that as a very extreme example, but you get the gist. Okay, I've walked in circles enough. Let me check the list of stuff that I need. Okay. Okay. Oh boy. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a lot of work. Let me start from the bottom and work my way up. Yeah, it's When I say that one of the materials requires over 800 and the other requires over 2,000. So this is not going to be an immediate thing. This might just be resource collecting and then we'll finish it up next time. But resource collecting has its own merits. It'll look pretty cool when it's done because it'll look like a flying saucer. It's just the way that the design is. All right, so I might need a third shulker actually, but I'm gonna need to find a spot to build it first. I don't want it to be so, what's the word? Like an obstruction in the middle of everything. Farms are weird because you can make them look aesthetically good, but most of the time they're just kind of a floating thing unless you like properly design it. I need to stake a claim, find a spot. I'll probably do it behind my house. You wouldn't be able to see it. But there's a river there. It looks so nice and yada, yada, yada. I'll figure it out when I figure it out. I'll find a spot, I'll build it, and I'll walk away and go, oh, wow, it looks okay. Supposedly, anyway. The villagers wake up the next day, it's like, time to go do my work when... What is that? Why is there a monolith in the middle of the town square? I just roll in like, do you have a problem? Or do you want to get rich? And he just starts sweating. He goes, no, you're good, you're good. All right, I'm gonna place my, I'm gonna place the shulkers down so I can start planning this out. Okay. So, first things first, we have temporary blocks, which we're gonna place here. I need a piston and a lever. Lever's really easy. Do I have any spare? Oh, I do have some spare cobble. Look at that. All right, lever. Piston requires like actual wood, so let me grab some of that. Probably gonna be using mostly acacia for wood, to be honest. I'm fine with that. It's orange, but we like the color orange here. Weirdly enough, that's my favorite flavor of Starburst. Most people I've talked to about that specifically have gone, you like orange Starburst? It tastes like tangy. It's so tangy. How can you enjoy it? And I'm like, I like the tang. I don't know, it's a weird flavor to me, but I like it. Oh, damn, roses. Actually, you know what I can do? Since I have an automatic composter now, let me go deposit these. It's, the best way to describe it is, like, what most people think the word citrus would taste like. That's, like, exactly what it tastes like. It's not like that lemon tang, it's just really tangy. Tart is the word I'm looking for. It's obviously sweet because it's a Starburst and it's built to be that way, but yeah, it's like the definition of citrus. Absolutely go do it, treat yourself. I haven't had Starburst in a long time. Am I missing something for the piston? Thought it was, am I missing something for the piston? I guess I am. Oh, right, because it's powered. I forget that sometimes. There we go. It's fine. Every day is snack day, remember that. I literally eat like a bar of milk chocolate almost every day because I like my chocolate kick. I normally eat dark chocolate, but they don't really... The dark chocolate they have here isn't the greatest. So I get by. Is it raining again? I cannot believe that it constantly rains in this game. I'm never free. Funnily enough, though, here in Japan, at least where I live, it was supposed to be rainy season, like a rainy season's supposed to be kicking in, it's been just, there's been like no rain. There's been like no rain at all. It's rained maybe once this week, or not this week, last week. And it's normally supposed to rain like every day. But no, I guess we're free and clear. Just live in the desert. Hey, there's people who do. It's a hard knock life out there, but they manage it. Africa. The Saharan Desert. Welcome, by the way. Good to see you. Torches. I have charcoal, right? I should have some spare charcoal. Indeedy do. Sorry, I'm doing math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need to get better at mental math. I'm not horrible at it. I'd say, not to toot my own horn, but I'd say I'm faster than most. But I want to be able to, like, not human calculator speeds or anything stupid like that, but... Imagine doing math. Hey, actually, you know, to be frank, for everyone who hates math, yeah, you deserve to hate math. It's such a terrible subject when it's taught in school. But mathematics as like a discipline is kind of cool as hell. when you start looking into the more intricate parts of mathematics, like the really complicated stuff where you make pretty pictures and like infinite fractal sets and tessellations, and these are big words, mind you, but it's like when you look at the artistic side of mathematics and like the theory crafting and basically saying, here's a big ass number, what if we made the big ass number bigger? That's when math's cool. That's when math's super damn cool, and I really like that part of mathematics. It's like learning about science as a form of entertainment. It's the same deal. Honestly, I feel you on that. I took a very high-level trigonometry class because I had to for one of my degrees. And, oh, if someone... if someone, like, showed me a pamphlet from, like, when I was doing that... This was, mind you, this was, like, a year ago. But if someone showed me a pamphlet of all the trigonometry equations and like the crazy high-level math that I had to do, I would actually throw it in the bin and say, never show me this poison again. It was such a tough... trigonometry is so obnoxious if you're using it for like properly solving things. Honestly, props to every scientist and mathematician who throughout the centuries has done crazy high-level maths to give us, you know, stuff that we have today. I mean, the internet wouldn't exist without high-level math. I'll talk to you in a second. The internet wouldn't exist. The internet straight up would not exist without high-level math. But it's for all us peons to stare and gawk in awe without having to actually do it ourselves. You need an engineer, make sure I'm not around him that bad. You know, that's fine. It's one discipline that is absolutely not cut out for everybody. It's actually, scratch that. It's not cut out for most people. College is its own thing. Cannot understand. Exactly. It doesn't matter. Listen, it doesn't matter what it is. I'm serious here. Even if you don't understand what's going on or you just personally don't like it or anything like that, if someone puts effort, brain energy, or anything like that into something, you at least gotta respect the hustle. That's how I feel with a lot of music. Like, I'm not picky per se, but I have my tastes, and a lot of times I'll come across someone who has clearly put like their heart and soul into whatever they're working on, and I'm like, you know, I wouldn't put this on my Spotify playlist, but respectfully, respect. And honestly, that's a good mindset to have, because if you're constantly up your own ass about that sort of thing, you lose out on like actually having opportunities to, you know, grow and expand your horizons with those kinds of things. All right. Fence gates. Soul campfires. Oh god. All right. Oh, I need to make scaffolding. That's gonna be interesting because I don't really have that much. I should continue to collect wood though. It's sort of important. Right, exactly. I see a lot of people these days just shit on stuff because because it's not what I like. And sometimes, you know, it's cool to not be a selfish asshole and appreciate what someone else has done, even if it's not your cup of tea. I see that a lot. Obviously, there's people who just suck. It's just how it is. But that's why, I don't know. That's why I'm like a huge fan of what is it? I was talking about this. I mentioned this on Twitter a bit because it was on my mind. But that's why I was like watching a bunch of what is it called? Sports videos. I honestly cannot stand like team sports like basketball, football, soccer. I've never been into those sorts of things. But I don't know, seeing high-level play from a human being doing crazy dexterous things, it's something to be commended for. It is. Like I went on a binge of a bunch of what is it called? I think they're called 9-dart finishes. Yeah, 9-dart finishes in the sport of darts, where you hit a specific sequence of score tallies to literally cinch an entire round in exactly 9 darts, which is the least number that you can possibly have. And it's so cool to watch them hit it perfectly every single dart. That takes so much like hand-eye coordination and positioning. I would never play darts like that, but it's so cool to see them do stuff like that. And that's why I love, what is it? I love speedrunning to death. I'm not a speedrunner. I don't feel like completing a game as fast as possible is something that's my cup of tea. But seeing how people tear games apart to, like, go super fast and just get as fast and clear as possible by understanding how it works. That's so mind-blowing. It's like, did you know in Minecraft, that the rate of dropping ender pearls from piglin trade is like something point something %? It's like, no, I would have never have known that. How'd you figure that out? Oh, a speedrunner did like empirical testing of how long it would take for you to get an ender pearl if you just kept like giving them gold from Bastion, and they figured it out over time in order to like optimize their run. It's like, holy shit. That's kind of insane. Someone would go to such length just to save a couple seconds, but they do. They do. And obviously it doesn't just pertain to like, it doesn't pertain to just speedrunning and like sports and things like that. There's people who are just incredibly dedicated to their craft and will go to every length to make things as best as they possibly can be. And that's awesome. Why are you useless? Why are you useless? Useless! Wandering traders are never helpful. But yeah, like I go on occasional binges like that. It's just super cool to watch. I just go on binges of random content sometimes. Just kind of how I vibe. I've had to pull away a little bit because I was binging too hard with some stuff. So now I'm limiting it, which is pretty big. Hydrate, thank you. I'll be getting those leads in a second. Oop, hold on. Spilled a little bit. I don't have a drinking problem. I'm fine. But I may have made an oopsie. It's just on my desk. Okay, as I was saying, I've had to pull away a little bit because I was definitely overdoing it with the sitting and just letting time waste away watching videos and sort of things like that. Oh, hang on. Gotta respond to something. Something came across my dash. Doo-doo-doo. All right, as I was saying, yeah, it's super good at least once every so often to sort of detox from like excessive internet use. I know a lot of us are chronically online, but sometimes you can definitely overdo it, and I definitely overdid it a couple times. I mean, I still love like learning about things in excessive detail that's never gonna help me later, because that's just, I like knowing things. I win trivia games a lot. But you know, it can be a detriment sometimes if you do too much. Everything in moderation. But a couple fun scheisse. A couple fun content binges that I've gone on in the past. Got a response back. A couple content binges that I've gone over in the past are like, what was it? I did speculative biology, world building, Lovecraft. Recently, I've been watching a couple Factorio vids, which is just essentially like a factory building game. It's pretty popular. And it's just fun seeing people challenge themselves to make these massive overarching factories. And the main one, which I have literally been unable to put down since I started playing again, is Arknights all over again, after basically being on hiatus for 2 years with it. I have returned to the gacha. I know I should have stayed away and kept my nose away, but the allure of the funny tower defense. It's a good game. I don't care what anyone says. It's probably the only gacha game that I would consider genuine quality that doesn't make me want to tear my eyes out with low rates or incredibly money-hungry processes. What? What's the problem? I haven't spent any money since I started playing again, if that makes you any happier. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, we don't like our grimdark tower defense lores? It's good. It's fine. I like the fact that, you know, there's actual strategy and thoughts and all these things. Shush! Shush you. I told you, I haven't spent any money. That's the main kicker. Doesn't matter what it is. You spend money on a gacha game, you have lost. You have lost the game. But it gives me something to do, you know? I was kind of looping around the same, like, 3 or 4 games repeatedly. So having another one across my roster that I can, like, actually spend some time on. Obviously, I'm not overdoing it because I have other responsibilities. I'm not insane. But it's always fun to, like, add to the monotony, and it's something to do, and I like the game and the art style, and everything's fun. Rival's Steam account value rising by 1K in a week. Listen, we all have a Steam backlog that is absolutely brutal. We do. We all do. It's just, it's one of those like, oh, that seems like a cool game. It's on sale. I'll get around to it eventually. 8 years later. Oh man, I forgot I bought this. What was this game again? Oh yeah, speaking of that, I don't throw any shade to Genshin players. You do you. Your game's fun. But holy shit, that game will drain your wallet faster than a car accident. Like, oh my god, the amount of people who wail on that game specifically. I know that Star Rail came out a little bit back too, and yeah, that one's not much better. That one really is not much better. I like to think that I've grown, because at one point in time I was playing like 4 or 5 gacha games. I've said this before. And I've spent my fair share of money, so. Do I regret it? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Sometimes you realize that spending money on a literal PNG is never a good idea. Just basically ever. Okay, step one is dragging people down the hole with you. You have already cursed them. You can only save, you can't save people from themselves. But yeah, if there's any one thing that you should never do in a gacha game, it's spend money. Seriously. You will quote unquote speed up your progress, but you could do the same thing if you just wait. And listen, there's far more money-hungry games. Just look at any AAA live service that's come out in the past, like, decade. Just because gacha games are sort of the thing these days doesn't mean they're the worst culprit of that. I don't even play it on my phone. I don't even play Arknights on my phone. I have an emulator on my PC. Like, I play it like it's an actual game. That's the funniest thing. Though, much like the curse of any like, mobile game or anything, guess what? There's a limit on the amount you could play per day to encourage you to use your resources to play more. It's like, just give me a single-player game, man. Just give me a single-player game. I want to do something with my time. Do I have any string? I need to make scaffolding. But yeah, if I ever rant and rave about Arknights, it's because I genuinely enjoy it, so. Everyone has their one. Everyone who's played gacha games eventually rotates around to their one. And for me, that's kind of been the one that's stuck at the forefront of my mind for quite some time, so. It's good to be back. Crippling addiction. I fully relate. I fully relate to that. It is honestly a problem. There is so many things that you could do with your time when it comes to, like, especially gacha games that have, like, metas and overpowered things and these. Like, you can invest into one thing. You can min-max. You can set up a team. You can do... No, I want everything. A banner comes around, give me all 6 of the things on the banner, not just the one. And that's why people spend money. That's why people spend money. But, as a counterpoint to why collecting sometimes is a good thing, if you're playing a game that involves strategy, like Arknights, it gives you variety. You don't get stuck in the same hole all the time. It's nice. I played that one specifically for, I'm gonna say, not a year straight. It was like 6 or 7 months back in, goodness, 2021, I think. This was back when I was really into gacha, and then I just kind of fell off the map with that. And I had a pretty good collection. Lots of 4 stars, lots of 5 stars, lots of 6 stars. Not a ton of 6 stars, but enough. I came back. I don't know if the system's easier, or I just saved up enough resources, or my luck just came down from the heavens and said, "Bless this man." I got, like, I almost, like, doubled my number of operators. It's definitely the time away plus just luck being nice for once. They have a pity system. Can't say that about every gacha game. They have a pity system. It makes you feel better about having your luck be trash. You don't have to roll 300 times. Game said, let's do a still. No, I'm not kidding. Like, what was it? A couple days back, a banner rolled around. It was a standard banner. It was just an up for a couple ops that have been around for a long time. And there was a sniper who was looking out for a long time who came out in one of the older events. And I was like, oh, she's on the main banner. Let me see if I can get her. 5 pulls, 4th one came home. And I was like, bruh, I remember wailing on this banner 2 years ago. Are you kidding me? I could not have been happier in that situation. It was super, super nice. Did I grab acacia saplings? But yeah, I think the reason why people spend money is because they love that dopamine hit when the specific character that has been away for a long time. Oh, it's like, oh my god, I got him. There is a definite, like, very, very happy energy that comes from that. And thank you. I'm glad that luck was on my side in that situation. The funny thing is, there's always that wonderful dopamine hit from, like, getting the thing you want. Yeah, it's straight up Pavlovian conditioning. But that dopamine hit whenever you get the thing you want is always counterbalanced by basically putting your all into a thing and just leaving with your head in your hands. There's just this feral disappointment that comes from saying, all right, I've saved up, I know what I want, I'm ready for this, I have the grace of clairvoyance, I've seen into the future, I know what I want to get, and then you blow it all and you've gotten like a bunch of common stuff, maybe one rare, and it's like, what was the point? Trust me, some of those gacha games are horrible when it comes to that. I brought up Fate Grand Order before. That is the worst offender. Of every single gacha game that I have played that has some degree of like rate up or special banners or anything like that, normally there's a pity system, or you can buy them in the shop, or there's like a restorative thing where you eventually get them later or something like that. No, Fate Grand Order says you're either spending money on this or you're not fucking getting this. You are not getting this. There is nothing. There is nothing. Such a pain in the ass. Which is why I don't play FGO anymore. I like to think I've grown. We've all made stupid monetary decisions. Will I continue to make stupid monetary decisions? Well, that depends on what I'm into at the time. Right now, it stands to reason that I'm still chilling. But if something comes around, I don't know. I really hope I can restrain. It's very much impulse. But it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's only $5, and then it turns into 10, and it turns into 25. And then you're $100 down the hole, and well, there goes that. Oh man. And they know. The people who make those games know. They know that's what's going to happen. They're aware. They're waiting. They're salivating for when you spend money on that one banner for that one character because you've seen fan art of them and you want them on your team. Okay, how much wood do I have? I need to make trapdoors. I need to start making trapdoors. Blep. 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 Okay, how much do I need for... Oh my god. 13 stacks. 13 stacks of trapdoors! I'm gonna start putting them in here. 13 stacks is a full row. So there. Okay, so that's where I'm getting to. Hoo boy, it's gonna take a while. I actually probably want to plant just acacia. Just because of how much wood I'm actually going to need. It's the grind. That's why it's sort of the reason why my world is still backwater, because it takes so long to get resources. I'm not efficient, I am aesthetic. Form over function. And it has definitely crippled my productivity. But I make do. This is how we roll. That's fair. Monotony sometimes has its purpose. It's stability, it's comfort. It gives you something to do even if you feel like you're doing nothing. I know it's obvious at this point. I play Destiny. Weirdly enough, I've sort of fallen out of favor recently with it just because there's nothing to do and blah 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 blah. But that's one of those games where I'll just load up, go somewhere, shoot some baddies, watch a video, It's monotony, it's repetition, not really getting anything done necessarily, but it's working towards something at the end of the day. And it's a game I like, so it's honestly the reason why I can play Minecraft, because while the grind is ever present, the monotony is never really truly awful. And you'd be shocked at how much you can get done if you just laser focus on a thing. I tend to be very scatterbrained, which is why sometimes it takes a while for me to laser focus on stuff. But at the very least, I set goals. Pro tip for life, make sure you set goals to get your stuff done. Yeah, I know that. I do that. Kind of my entire reason that I'm able to finish things. Oh, I got some acacia. Oh, it's nighttime! You sleep. Yeah, I'm gonna plant more acacia trees. While I'm waiting for them to grow, what I probably can do is I can start mining cobble, because gonna need a lot of that. When I say a lot, I mean a lot of cobble. Probably should make a third shulker on top of things too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's fair. The only reason I don't is because I just don't like the look of torches everywhere. It's helpful, especially when you're playing on high difficulties like hard or hardcore, because it prevents mobs from spawning. But I don't know, unless it's like a field of torches where every block's a torch, because that just has a visually stunning aesthetic. I like being more sparse. It might not help me in the future. Oh, hydrate, thank you. All right. Jeez, what is happening with this? It's like the lip is spitting at me. I don't know what's going on. Might just be because I'm angling the glass weird. Probably is. I don't have a drinking pro. Anyway, what was I saying? The monotony and blah 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 blah. Every 20th minute. No, it's fine. I don't know if I just have a very strong voice or my vocal cords are generally pretty good at speaking for long intervals. But I've had like 3-4 hour long-winded conversations before without like my throat getting dry. Obviously staying hydrated is paramount, but I can go for periods. Sometimes you get that tickle where you're like, all right, get some water. But I'm usually pretty good. If I'm focused on something, I'm not gonna take a drink, which is why I have that redeem active. Did I just get an apple from an... It had to have been oak sapling. I mean, it had to have been oak leaves. There's no way I got an apple from an acacia tree. Cursed acacia. That'd be funny if I actually did. Something I don't know. Also, I really hope, I don't even know, I haven't checked. I wonder if it's come out already, because 120 has been out for a few weeks now. I wonder if Optifine's out for it, because I do like having my shaders. Even if it's not, Fabric probably is. That's a good workaround. But again, that's why we're making the gunpowder farm, so I can actually properly enjoy updating to 120 and not have to become nomadic and go on a quest of self-discovery to find one cherry blossom biome. Oh, and don't get me wrong. When we get to that point, I am straight up going to use the seed finder. I am not wasting my time walking in aimless directions to find one biome. I'm good. I would like pink wood, and I would like it to be not horrible. Oh, I do have extra shulker shells. Perfect. An architect's building projects are never over. Well, I did that before. Early on, I did that before because I wanted to explore out and find biomes. And well, I mean, let's see. I found, what was it? 2 cats and 2 foxes. And what ended up happening? Was it 2 cats and 2 foxes? No, it was 2 cats, a fox, and a wolf. Right? Yeah. One of the fox died, and one of the cats died. But Steez came home with me, and Isaac came home with me. We also found a witch's hut, an ice biome, a dark oak forest, a bunch of stuff. But it was an adventure. And it definitely, it did go a bit crazy. But sometimes exploring is fun. Oh, I need an efficient pickaxe. Hang on. I'm getting nowhere with this piece of trash. Adventuring is fun. They made an entire game mode based on it. Oh no, that's right. My god pickaxe is gone. Darn. That's upsetting. Do I have any diamonds actually? Oh damn, I have 14. Well, this has Curse of Vanishing on it, which means if I die, it's gone. But, you know what? I don't think you can get rid of Curse of Vanishing. Yeah, damn. I can't even enchant it. I'd have to book it. Do I have any books? I do. This is even level 30. Really, Fire Prot? That's what you're gonna give me? Whatever. Okay, we have a better pickaxe now. I get nervous about all my tools. I will often run headfirst into danger, decked out in full iron. Even if it's like an end game thing, like fighting the Ender Dragon or going to an end city or going into a bastion. I don't know. I'd rather have disposable weapons and armor, even though I'll die way faster because I just don't want to lose my good stuff. And then when it's completely safe, that's when I take out the pickaxe and the sword and all that. Eventually, the plan is to get a good toolsmith, so that way I can just get pickaxes for free, and I don't have to worry about spending diamonds on them. I think I already have that for a couple tools and a full set of armor. Villagers in this game are actually overpowered, and I will take no further responses on this query. Villagers in this game are overpowered. The fact that you can get a full set of diamond armor and tools for absolutely free if you just have another villager to trade, like, sticks is utterly stupid. You can turn trees into a full set of diamond armor. I'm no alchemist, but that sounds insane. Imagine launching up Minecraft for the first time, right? And like, the first thing most people do is punch a tree with their fist. Everybody knows it. You need wood, you gotta make a crafting table. Imagine you punch a tree with your fist, and instead of, like, making a crafting table, doing all that, you find a village, you trade sticks with a guy, and then you just go fight the Ender Dragon with a full set of armor, and you haven't even built anything. You absolutely can do that. It's a pain in the ass because you're essentially forfeiting the ability to craft things. But if you play your cards right, literally own a big trading hall. Trading halls are fun. The fact that you can just plonk down a bunch of librarians and just get every single book in the game. It's effective when it's effective. I just go with the tried and true method of using it for armor and tools because, meh, if I need to enchant, I can just grind levels. Problem is, I don't really have cows, and my only other source of leather is piglin trading, and I don't have a gold farm yet. That's another story entirely. The gold farm, I'm gonna do that eventually too. The gold farm is legitimately one of my favorite farms to build because it's just a giant structure. But magma block farming is actually pain, so I'll have to do that eventually because I do want a gold farm. But oof, because you need like stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of magma blocks. Hoarding levels reminds me of I bring this up a lot. That one ProZD skit where he's essentially fighting the final boss. So it's like, I'm out of NP. Then use an ether. But I wanna preserve. But it's the final battle. But I only have 85 of them. Ugh, hoarding in video games. Because there's always that voice in the back of your head that goes, what if this goes wrong? What if this goes wrong? What happens? What if all of a sudden you don't have any heals? What are you gonna do? What's gonna happen? And then you get to the end of the game and you have like a max stack of health potions, and it's like, I could have used this in that one fight that absolutely wrecked me for a couple hours. What am I doing? Sit here on the final boss with a water hose filled with health. It's gonna help me, but what's gonna happen after the fact? The one game I can say is I pretty confidently don't do that in is Pokemon. Pokemon, I bring the healing potion fire truck every fight I get into because I just don't want things to die. I've done Nuzlocke in the past. I hate watching Pokemon faint from a random critical hit stab attack that I wasn't expecting because I got my type matchups wrong. So, guess what? You're getting the Hyper Potion hose. Super Soaker 9000 filled with wonderful life juice. I basically, when I play Pokemon, I basically play like a soft Nuzlocke anyway. It's not that I'll like set Pokemon free when they go down. I just try to avoid that at all costs. Because to me, fainting is death in Pokemon, so. Yeah, exactly. Unless it's easily replicable, don't use them. How we doing? Oof. Yeah, this is gonna take a bit. 31 stacks is a shulker and... Sorry, hold on. 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. A shulker and 4.5. Because it says 31 and 54. So I need to fill this chest up completely. And get trapdoors. And get slabs, and get buttons, and get fences. Ugh, there's so much. Again, it's a cool farm, but I'm glad I've gotten a couple of automated things though. Very, very, very helpful. Soon we will be living in industrialization. Well, like 1700s industrialization. Maybe 1800s. Maybe if I'm good about it. Who knows? I'm gonna stop for a second and go cut down some trees. Sleeping in a bed with an axe. Am I Jack Nicholson from The Shining? I need iron for another axe. Half the trees are grown. It is genuinely going to be so nice when I upgrade to 120 and can use bamboo as blocks now. It's such a minor addition, but it makes them just that little bit more useful. Because other than making sticks, using them as fuel, and a couple other things, they're pointless. Oh, scaffolding, never mind. But still. Being able to use them as blocks is nice, because they grow super fast. To get good quality sleep is with an axe. Hey, it's a weapon of self-defense. Someone walks into your room and you're holding a fire axe, they're not gonna try to, you know, wake you up. They'll know better. Because who knows? Maybe you're a lumberjack who's just had a really bad day. And who knows where's that axe is gonna swing the moment they set you off. I need to build another axe. Is this iron farm at max stacks? Because I've been here for, oh. Every time with the farm. Really should put like barriers around or something. That would look ugly though. Oh, we're not even close. I remember, oh yeah, that's right. I abused it to trade with, what was it, the armor smith or the weaponsmith? One of the two. It was at full. The chest was basically full, but because I was trying so hard to power level, was it the librarian or it was one of them. I need a ton of emeralds, so I just kept trading and trading and trading iron, and I eventually ran completely out. You start experimenting with economics, and all of a sudden you run dry. Stonks. Finally, a nice day in Minecraft. It's not raining anymore. None of you villagers do a rain dance while I'm down here. Why did I go down here? None of you villagers do a rain dance while I'm cutting trees, okay? I do genuinely feel like if there's a weather system in a game I'm playing, the rain just manages to follow me. I like rain as much as the next guy. It's peaceful, it's relaxing. If it's not like brutal and there's not a ton of wind, it's probably one of my favorite weather conditions, but man, I just feel like it rains all the time, both in real life and in video games sometimes. There have been times, seriously, where I've just, it's been just a rainy day, and at my family home we have like a deck outside in the back that just, it's almost like a patio with a step. It's less a deck and more a wooden structure that my dad decided to build because he's essentially an amateur carpenter. Living legend, that one. He straight up can do things that most like labor workers can do, and he's just like, yeah, I'll do it. It'll save me money. But I will go out on that deck sometimes with an umbrella and just kind of sit and enjoy the rain. It's so nice. But I've said before, and I'll say it again. It's not just me. It's quite a lot of people. Video games can hear you. They absolutely. I'm not talking about like the audio activated games where that's part of the mechanic. They can straight up hear you when you talk. I will take no other counterpoints to this. They can hear you. The number of times I have said, "Oh man, I'm feeling really good about this situation." Like, "Oh, everything's so good. All right, if I could just do this, we're off swimming." And then the game's like, "Oh, really? You think you're having a good time? Time to get hit by a massive attack that just wipes you out instantly." And I'm like, "Great. I'm so glad I opened my big fat mouth." But it's not just in like I'm using like something like Souls as an example because it's happened so much in that and Elden Ring. But it happens in other stuff too. It's just if you open your mouth, man, karma loves to bite you in the ass. Basically instantly. Sometimes it is what's it called? Confirmation bias though. It feels like it happens far, far more often than it feels like it doesn't. But we pay attention to the times when it does line up a little too perfectly rather than the probably equal amount of times where it doesn't. But honestly, I don't care. I feel like games are sentient and they're out for blood, and it's usually mine. Makes things more exciting. It can bite all it wants. I'm doing what I want still. That is next level I don't give a fuck energy. Man, I'm having a great day. Starts raining. Still having a great day, weather. You're not gonna get me down. Though still, the number of times where I've been gypped by my own words is pretty hilarious. I think it's overconfidence. I think it is overconfidence, especially in games where stuff changes on a dime. Saying anything about like, oh, this is actually working out, or oh, things aren't going as bad as I thought. Yeah, it's about to. Give it about 5 seconds. You'll see. I think I got all the patches that I missed. I did. We good. You're good. I also cannot believe that I still have that diamond hoe from before. I will never use this thing. I'm having a great day. Starts thunderstorming. Nah, I'm not having that. Screw you. I'm still enjoying everything. You won't jabate me, life. I am not one who is jabated. You thought you could pull a fast one. This is genuinely what happens times. It's life pulls a fast one. It's like, great, thanks. I take your world ideology and substitute it with my own. I've heard that people use Minecraft as ASMR. I can see it. Probably, maybe not the lava singeing noise, but like when you go down into the depths and you start strip mining and all you hear is I don't know, it can be relaxing, it's rhythmic. I'm actually not a big ASMR person myself. I know that people, people say that they get like the tingles and certain voices and sounds make them feel a certain way, and you know what, that's fine. I've never personally experienced anything like that. So it's weird to hear about that sort of stuff. I mean, it's like a booming, it's like a booming type of content, but I don't know, I guess I'm not, what is it, sensitive, quote unquote, to that sort of stuff. I do have sensitive hearing, but in the reverse direction where like sharp or loud sounds spook me more than most, or just like I pay attention to audio quality much more than a lot. But yeah, I've never really been affected by ASMR type stuff. Like relaxing things, yeah, I can get behind that. But like the whispering in the ear with the 3DO and like making noises. there was a video. Oh my god, I think it was from like 2018 or 2019. It's clearly ironic, but it was a professional wrestler who just sat in front of his camera. The video is titled like ASMR eating a bag of chips. And it's just like normal gain microphone just munching down on some, what was it, Sun Chips, I think it was? It's like, this is the highest level ASMR I've ever seen in my life. It's this big muscly dude just eating chips into a microphone for 10 minutes. It was one of those stupidest things. It's like when you were a kid when you tasted the favorite food. Oh, okay, I see it. If there's anything that sometimes does give me a physical reaction, it's music. But I have to have a very specific reaction to it. Like, it has to be contextual. Like, I'm just listening to a song. Most of the time, I'm either just vibing to it or it's background noise. But if I'm paying attention to a song and I'm visualizing something in my head, sometimes the visual is what will make me go, oh, that'd be awesome, and you get that like that sense of that not tingles, but like that the way it affects people, you know. I'm not someone I'd say who has an emotional attachment to music. I know that people really sometimes have an emotional attachment to music. I have more of a mental one. I like music for the way it sounds and the way that people play, and sometimes the lyrics mean cool things. But if I'm like, if I'm happy or I'm sad or I'm angry or something like that, I don't know. Sometimes the music doesn't lock into my emotional state. I just kind of listen. Maybe that's because I like play music, and I'm not just an active listener. I'm also an active like learner. Maybe that's overanalyzing. Who knows? But a lot of times that people are like, "Oh, music is such an emotional attachment." Yeah, I respect it, but I don't know. I don't feel the same way. I'm much more analytical and direct, and I just kind of I vibe more than I feel emotional attachment to stuff. I know that's a word that people throw around a lot is vibe, but it's an apt description. Getting there. Is it nighttime again? Uh-huh. Yeah, we just enjoy stuff that we enjoy. Don't think too deep about it. I do too much. That's just who I am. I think about a lot of things. I like to do the think thunk. Really? One tree grew? Get better. Grow faster. Get more water. Man, if trees actually grew like this in real life, all that deforestation for the sake of like industrializing would just be a moot point, because it's like, hey, have you replanted that whole quadrant? No, sir. Still waiting on the shipment of seeds. All right, well, let me know, because we got a shipment of logs that we need to send out in the next 3 days. All right, sir, we'll plant them the moment you get it. And then you plant them and they grow and they strip out the logs. But no, trees in real life have to take 100 years to grow, taking their sweet old time so people can capitalize on them. Grow faster, drink water. That actually, like that, almost facetious, like false motivation actually stems from, oh, what was it? I think it was it the Game Grumps? It might have been. I get my humor from a lot of different places, but at one point, Aaron Hansen, who runs Game Grumps, he runs the whole company, he's like the main guy. They were playing, I think it was Sonic. It might have been Sonic Boom. Oh god, yeah, I think it was Sonic Boom. And he was making like a critical thing while he was voicing one. No, it wasn't. I think it was Doki Doki Literature Club. Yeah, that was back in 2017. But he's like pointing out one of the characters is, I forget exactly what the context was. He was having an issue, or she was having an issue with something. And he was voicing the male character like a classic shonen, like, yeah, the cool shonen protagonist. Like that was what he was doing. But at one point he points out her character model like can't quite hold the thing she's trying to hold, and he goes, "Get bigger hands." That specific intonation stuck with me. And anytime I'm like falsely criticizing something for not being good enough, I go with that thought of like, buh. Like that sarcastic, I actually don't care, but I want you to change. Like, man, these villagers are terrible at trading. Get better trades. What's wrong with you? I don't know. It's such a specific anecdote, but my humor is super specific. I obviously mold it and craft it to my own, but we all take our humor from some places. I mean, 90% of stand-up comedians borrow from each other. Unless it's just outright stealing. That's a whole different... You know what? You're staying a square. You're staying a square. I'm not stepping on you again. Sorry I like to hop all over the place, farm, but you have to not immediately destroy yourself. I just have to, I don't know, be lighter? Should get bird bones or something. Probably take off about 50 pounds. Damn crops getting crushed. Honestly, with the amount of things that the Minecraft player character carries on them at all times, I'm sure they're way about as much as a fucking planet. Not in the like in the large sense, but in the physically massive sense. I mean, what was it? There was an old video a while back. Might have been a game theory video. It probably was a game theory video, and if it wasn't, it was someone around that time. Talking about how much the Minecraft player character can carry and like how much it weighs. And there was something like a full inventory of what was it? Was it diamond or iron? It was something. Oh, it might have been gold. I don't remember. It was something that was incredibly massive. But it was like in the tens of thousands of kilograms. Which is in the tens of metric tons, which is essentially like carrying around multiple buses on your person all the time. And you know, I haven't seen the Minecraft player character and Superman in the same room ever, so you make a strong case. You make a very strong case. I wonder what people would do if they had the strength of in-game video game characters. Probably the what is it? The discus throw at the Olympics wouldn't be a discus throw; it would be a ballistic missile throw. Or I don't know, something heavier, like throwing an entire Eiffel Tower. Imagine that. Imagine seeing an entire, like, steel building just get thrown. 600 meters! New record! It's just a giant steel structure just poked out of the ground. Little white guideline in front of it. This is such a weird anecdote. Progress is being made. How many rows did I need for this? It was 13. I might actually not be able to get all the resources for today. Not because I'm tired or anything like that, but I'm trying to mitigate things a little bit better to keep on a better schedule. Obviously, like weekends, it doesn't matter, but for the weekdays, going longer than 4 hours could possibly cause problems. I don't know, if I'm efficient, who knows? But it is a lot. The itinerary list is quite long. Oh, it's early? That's right, yeah, because it's still in the morning. Go to bed. Don't stay up. Take care of yourself. Go get some rest as much as possible. Man, time zones. Yeah, 5:30. Oh god. It'll be like I've said a couple times. It'll be much more comfortable when I return home to the U.S. because then my mental clock will adjust to the actual time. Thank you for the welcome back. Get some rest. But yeah, I said this a couple times. I used to stream at like super late hours to sort of compensate, and I realized that was helping no one. So I shifted it back, and then I shifted it back more. And where it is now, it's good because it's like it's at the end of the day. I'm not like super stressed about anything. And right when I'm done, I can go to bed. And it's not like I'm staring at the sun coming up if I'm up for a long period of time. That sucks. Trust me, the sun comes up at like 4 a.m. here, so if I'm up that long, I know I've made a mistake. But when I return home, I'll figure that out, all that shebang out. It's gonna be interesting because I'm gonna have to reorient a couple scheduling things. Like Fridays are off because when I go back home, a lot of stuff happens at home on Friday. Like I have to go food shopping. My dad's like musician friends come over and they practice. And it's like, while I would love to keep the same schedule, that would be a good break day. Would be Friday. But again, that's for later. That's not for right now. As always, I look to the future because I'm constantly trying to stay ahead of the curve that I have basically crafted for myself. But man, that's how we roll. That's how I roll. How are we doing? Getting there. Soon enough, we will have enough stacks of cobblestone. Maybe I will be able to get resources today. The build is gonna probably take a good, if I'm fast, an hour. So I'll have to see where we end off once I got everything. Collecting materials for the Enderman farm was a joke. It still shocks me even now how small that farm is. This one's a lot bigger. I've seen some crazy farms too. That Psycraft server with all those actual engineers building stuff in Minecraft. Like, they build quarries, they build multifaceted tree farms, all these things that probably take hundreds of thousands of stacks of blocks to build. And, like, insane amounts of repeated redstone circuitry and modular building and all these things. And I stare at that and I go, you know, if I had nothing else in life to do, I'd super enjoy that. But God, the amount of time and knowledge you have to dump into projects like that is daunting. It is scary. That's why I take each thing at a time. It's good to pace. It's good to pace. Pacing oneself is the key to victory. Had a couple times where I've been working on something and you know those bursts of inspiration, right? Where like you're invested in something and you want to get it done. But you just can't bring yourself to do it for some reason, or you're just not motivated to work on it that day because it's like, oh, I gotta force myself to do something and like make progress. And then another day comes by and it's like, oh, I could do this, and then you spend 12 hours on it. I wish I could take that energy and spread it out over the course of something. There were times back in like I think high school. High school is when it was pretty extreme. Where I would have something that I knew was going to take me a certain period of time. And instead of like, oh yeah, I can do this over the course of like this long. I can probably figure this out. No, like 1 8-hour session, all in one shot, while my brain energy is still rolling. I guess part of it is that staying in the same headspace for a long period of time allows you to finish something rather than sleeping on it, coming back the next day and forgetting what it was supposed to be. But you gotta finish what you start, so at least I was good at that. Might not have been the most efficient or the most smart about how I used my time, but Gotta finish where you start. Especially if you're right at the end of the finish line. How many stacks? It was 31. Was it 31 and 54? 31 and 54. Whew. All right, let me go check on the... Oh! It's trees, man. Trees in the cobble. Worst part is I could be, like... Think about it this way. I could be using these resources for something else. Like, I could be grinding for these reasons. No, I'm just dumping it all in one thing. It's infinite, mind you. I can continuously get them. That's the nice thing about Minecraft. But they're all being invested to one thing. And that one thing will help me out in the future. I genuinely do like electrifying, too. Most people do. Speaking of, I do want to verify something quick. Okay, it is still there. Remember I fell off the map when I was building the Enderman farm? Yeah, 10,000 days is still here. Thank God. So interesting to me how 10,000 days is 27 years, roughly. It's not exact, but it's as close as you can be. Right, 27? I think I did my math properly. Something like that. Based off that Tool album, I mentioned this. That's why I named it that. It's a good album. And as I've said, my references are all over. Every conceivable thing that I have even the slightest bit of interest in gets named or hinted or something like that. Case in point, this is slightly off topic, but one thing that I really enjoy and has a ton of in-jokes are like comedy movies, like Monty Python, Mel Brooks, stuff like that. And I love injecting a little bit of that humor sometimes into stuff. Most of the time, depending on the person, they'll get it, because a lot of those movies are really famous. The people who get it the most are usually my parents, because they watch them with me. But it's fun to reference stuff like that, because you catch who's into the same sort of hee hee ha ha dumb humor as you. I was talking with one of my friends the other day. And, what was it? Oh yeah, he started randomly quoting Spaceballs, the Star Wars parody Mel Brooks film. And I started immediately quoting back, and then we just started going off on a conversation about comedy movies and how genuinely funny they are to quote, regardless of what the actual context is. He didn't know about Airplane, he didn't know about a couple Leslie Nielsen films, even though he loves Leslie Nielsen, which is very funny to me. I had to explain The Naked Gun and Airplane. But they're all in that same vein of you watch them to laugh your ass off. And most of the jokes are very easy to get. Because they're either literal, dry, or just straight up obvious. And most of them are either self-referential or like in-jokes or things like that, which always just adds. Because then you get the audience that goes, "Oh, I knew that reference. I understood that reference." I love that tongue-in-cheek nod of like, "Yeah, we know what we're making fun of." There's a bunch of examples of that. Young Frankenstein makes fun of Frankenstein. Men in Tights makes fun of Robin Hood films. Spaceballs makes fun of Star Wars. What was the other one? Oh god, what is it called? Is it like Dragonfly or something? It's got Leslie Nielsen in it. It's a movie that makes fun of like superhero films like Spider-Man. It's super goofy. Comedy parody movies are a riot. I haven't watched a lot of films recently, in all truth. When I binge stuff, it's usually video essays. I'm subscribed to College Humor's Dropout because I love the D&D campaigns and Sam Reich's Game Changer show. That's just a good troupe of great improv comedians who also double as fantastic D&D players. But I haven't like sat down and watched TV in a long time. There's really just nothing that interests me. TV or movies. I still have the ones that I look to as like movies that I genuinely like. Obviously comedy movies, but stuff like Full Metal Jacket, Color Out of Space. Either just a well narrated film or something with intrigue, you know? Well, my interests vary, and they're kind of all over the place, to be blatantly honest. So, sometimes I'll be into this thing, sometimes I'll be into a different thing, and yeah. Speaking of movies, it's still funny to me how, one, video game movies are getting more prominent in media, and two, they're not as terrible as they were like a decade ago. There's still some stinkers, but the Mario movie was really good from what I understand, which is such a good omen for the rest of the stuff. This is probably going to sound really strange, but I do genuinely hope that the Five Nights at Freddy's movie is good. If it's like a burning trash fire, I mean, it's to be expected, but if it's good, then man, that's a lot of people who are introduced to a new horror medium with creepy animatronics doing creepy things. I still think the original FNAF's a good game. It's overhyped, oversold, has way too many sequels, and is basically shoved down your throat by its own fandom. But the original theory and Scott Cawthon's idea behind it and all that, like, it's good. It's a good game. It was so unique at the time. It revolutionized horror, at least indie horror. It did a lot, you know? I don't know if in hindsight, it's like it should be lauded as like one of these greats. I think it just got really popular and was justified in its popularity for its uniqueness, but it's a good game at its base. There's that one, speaking of video essays and Five Nights at Freddy's, there's that one retrospective compilation by, what's his name, Sagan Hawks. He goes through every single FNAF game and just gives I'd say it's a combination of sort of a breakdown of what it is, but also a critical analysis, and then he eventually goes into the outside other stuff, like the books and things. Obviously the games, he only does the games from 1 to 6 because Help Wanted and Security Breach, and soon Help Wanted 2, right? Are sort of a breach of the canon that was established. Well, not a breach necessarily. It's a continuation of a canon that sort of had a soft ending. There is an argument to be made that it's an open and shut case from 1 to 6. So having the rest add on to that kind of throws off the vibe, I guess, of the storytelling. It's justified. I kind of agree. But yeah, stuff like that. I like sitting down and watching that, just watching some guy ramble about a video game series or something like that that either everyone's played or no one has. Case in point, oh my god, there's a video that I've seen, I'm gonna say like a dozen times now, by, what's his name? Your Favorite Son? About a very old PlayStation IP called Legacy of Kain. Hi! Good to see you! Hope you're well. It's been a bit. I was just rambling about video games and mining to collect resources. I hope everything's well. Hope June's treating you as well as anybody. What was I saying? Yeah, video games that either everyone has played or no one has played. So yeah, Your Favorite Son has done a bunch of analysis videos on stuff like that, like Legacy of Kain, Resident Evil, Dead Space, right. I do like his Dead Space analysis video, especially his complete and utter teardown of 3, because it's so bad. Oof. Honestly, I can relate. wasn't fun when I was there. Please. I will pay anyone like $100 if they can find me someone who genuinely enjoys being in college. And isn't doing it out of necessity. And I'm not saying like the party people, I'm saying like genuinely enjoys learning stuff in college. Hey, props. Get you further in life than you might expect. Man, I love sitting down and watching video essays like that. Such a wonderful experience. I need to find like more stuff like that. It's such a time killer. It is. But it helps to see someone else's perspective on something that either you've never heard of or you personally really enjoy. I've thought about dabbling in that too, though, but it's a complicated thing because you gotta really delve into something in excessive detail to get a balanced, I think is the good word, opinion on it. Like anyone can write a script about I don't know, Fortnite with their base opinion on it and just like say, yep, this is how I feel. This is what I know about it, and this is why I either like it or hate it. That's it. If you want to make like retrospectives or analyses or things like that, you actually have to know your stuff. You have to essentially turn what subject matter you're focused on into a book and read it and understand it, and like back in English class, like high school. Yeah. Oh, that sucks so bad. If you like writing, but most people really don't. Most people who like writing end up majoring in writing, so. But with every passing day comes that relief that it's closer to the end, so something to look forward to. When you really think about it, something like high school or college, while it feels like a monumental task, it really isn't. It's only a small section of your life. Like, let's say the average person, I'm being generous here, lives 70 years. I'm being generous because a lot of people can have situations where that isn't true. But let's say the average person lives like 70 years. If you're in college for a bachelor's degree for 4 years, that's less than a tenth of your life. It feels like forever, but it's less than a tenth of your life, and then you have the rest of it to either go into the workforce, find your passion, or whatever. Also, I wasn't paying attention because I was rambling, but yes, it's not a new setup necessarily, but it's a slightly more customized setup. Thought I'd add a couple graphics to the screen to make things look nice. It makes me look like I'm not just standing in a void in front of a screen. I'm like actually here doing stuff. I remember back when I was in high school too, how I'd have to like bang out essays. I'd say I'm lucky. I was one of the kids who could write an essay for a class in like 2 hours, and everyone else is like, oh, I gotta sit and like pace myself with that sort of stuff. An entire bachelor, what, you workaholic insano. I couldn't even do that. I mean, props if you can. That's an achievement and a half, but oh god, I hope your stress levels aren't ridiculously through the roof. That's concerning. I mean, if the opportunity's there, grab it and take it, but sheesh. Gotta have at least some free time, I hope. Big talk come for me. I went for 2. Then again, I actually paced it and took 5 years to get 2, but still. I do wish that there was more life skills in high school and college. I feel like that we're severely lacking that sort of stuff. I mean, the point of college is to like focus on a discipline. But if you're like in college and you're not going for like a business degree, they don't teach you how to do your taxes or be financially literate or things like that. That's things you have to learn from experience and trial and error. I feel like that's crucial to living in, you know, a country that has money as a thing that exists. But who knows? I might just be talking out my ass. Maybe they've changed the system since I've been. Oof. Oof. I can imagine. As long as you have a way to mitigate it, because high levels of stress is never good for anybody. I would say pick up a hobby, but I don't know how much free time you have. That's one thing that I know I can do sometimes to not alleviate stress, but give me something to do that isn't the same grind. Pick up a hobby. BattleBit Remastered. Someone told me about that recently. Like less than a couple days ago recently. That's a funny coincidence that you brought that up too. That's the I'm sorry, I'm having to really dig through the files. That's the game that those 3 guys made in Roblox, right? That turned into a they like separated it off from the game engine and turned it into like a fully big team battle multiplayer FPS, and it's on Steam now, right? If I'm remembering that correctly. I remember hearing about that a long time ago. Like, these people are making an FPS game in Roblox. I saw gameplay of it and I was like, that's what? If this is the same thing I'm thinking of. I hope it is. Yes, thank you. Okay, just had to double check. Didn't want to get things confused with something else that might have come across my dash. But yeah, that's kind of insane. And I've from the people who have talked to me about it, it looks like the best thing that's happened to, this is so weird to say, but it looks like the best thing that's happened to FPS in the past like 5 years. And that is an achievement. I guess that's what passion can bring you if you just want to make a good FPS game. Because I've seen gameplay of it. It's like voxel and pixel based, but there's reload animations. There's like fully buildable weapons and classes and things. You get massive numbers of players and servers and such. It's what Call of Duty wishes it could be. Oh, I would assume so. Like destructible environments, all that sort of stuff. That's definitely the hype train that I missed the most was Battlefield. So, hey, if I ever find the time, it's not super expensive to opt into early access, so I might actually give it a try. I'd have to be careful though, because if I enjoy it too much, it might become a problem. But who knows? I have my FPS that I loop on quite a bit. And make another axe. Do I have shit? Resource collecting is fun. Too many sticks. Yeah! People make a ton of arguments about graphics these days. This is, okay. It just, some just clicked in my head. This is the best game to play and talk about this, by the way. I've brought this topic up before, but there's so many people who are obsessed with the game looking like fucking real life these days. And I just don't see it. If the game's fun, who cares if it looks like you put on a combat headset and decided to drop in the middle of the Middle East and like actually experience what that would be like? It doesn't have to look like the sweat drops on your hands are dripping in a realistic way for it to be a good game about shooting guns. Right, exactly. And this is what I'm saying. This is the perfect game to discuss this with, because Minecraft has never been one for insanely high graphics. Yeah, there's mods for that to make the game look as realistic as humanly possible, but it's a block game. It's a block game, and people have played this game for thousands upon thousands of hours because it's fun, not because it looks nice. It's nice to make things look nice. That's why I have shaders and texture packs and all that. But you can play it in vanilla, no one's gonna give a shit. Yeah, there's games that look good and play good too, but they don't all have to be that way. And these days, not everyone has, like, yes, the PC market has expanded, but not everyone has a god PC in order to run, like, I don't know, what's the new thing that is making people's games tank? There's a game that came out recently that is so resource intensive. I can't remember what it is. It's like it's a good AAA game. It's just, oh god, you have to have a god PC to play it. Yes, that's the one. Thank you. Sorry, my memory faded me on what happened to me, literally. Yeah, Dead Space 2023 is just so... Actually, Elden Ring's not as bad. FromSoft is actually pretty good at optimizing their stuff, but Dead Space 2023 is so high-end. That game is so high-end. It looks fantastic, and it plays like old Dead Space. But God, unless you have one of the best graphics cards on the market, a decent amount of VRAM, yeah, you ain't playing that game. You just straight up are not playing that game. It's like the old Crysis days back in like 2007 where, listen, your PC might be great, but can it run Crysis? Sometimes developers are good about it, like FromSoft, like I said. But there's a lot of times when you just dump so many 4K textures into a game, and like all these ray tracing shaders and stuff just to make it look super cool and amazing, and it's like, yeah, but I can't run it now. I can't enjoy your game if my PC can't run your game. Watching Markiplier say his two 4090s were still... What? That's horrid. Oh my god. Part of it too could be because he was recording, but even then, two 4090s? That shouldn't be. I don't care what game it is. I'm playing a video game here, not mining for cryptocurrency. That would be why. Yeah, on launch stuff's often not optimized. Yeah, I guess it makes sense because when you're developing a game, most of the time you have like the highest end PC in order to develop it on, because when you're testing something, you don't want performance issues to be the main thing dragging down your grind to get it to work. But when you release it out to the public, it's like, ugh. There's been so many hiccups with that. It still makes me laugh though. There's quite a few live service games now that have just been out for such a long time and are basically running on the same engine that they started with. To rattle off a couple, what is it? Destiny 2 still runs on Bungie's Tiger engine, which they've had since, God, I think Halo 3, if not Halo Reach, which is like a stupid long time. Final Fantasy 14, I'm pretty sure, still runs on the same engine. World of Warcraft runs on the same engine since it got a massive overhaul. Any of these new games that come out, it's like, most of them run on Unreal 5. But Unreal 5 is a brutal engine for most. And then you just dump it full of so much performance tanking. I don't know, maybe in the future they'll figure out a way to like better optimize computers for the common consumer so that really high-end gaming is easier to access. But for now, unless you got like a a 30 series or 40 series NVIDIA graphics card, or even some of the high-end AMDs, there's just some games that you won't be able to play. Full stop. But at the same time, just because a game is really high-endy doesn't mean you have to play it. There's people who still to this day play, well, you can't really play Flash anymore, but play Flash-like games. Just because that's what they're into. Performance tends to be a non-starter with some. And I see it. I do. I wish things were different, but hey, when like half of the consumer market requires realism, it's like, yeah, we know. Yeah, same. In this PC I have with me right now, it's a laptop, so it's obviously not the highest performance, but it's decent. Didn't actually cost me that much. This laptop has a 3060 in it, and it's decent with most things. I'm not a frame whore. If something's at 30 frames, that's fine. If something's at 60 frames, that's much better, and I can enjoy that. If you go over 60 frames, it's like diminishing returns for me. I know some people like to see a big number in top corner of screen, but I don't really. That's not really necessary. Back at home, I have a 3070 Ti, and performance-wise, it's up there. It's pretty good. That one I spent a little bit more on. But I've been able to play stuff like Doom Eternal, Modern Warfare 2, no performance issues, like at least 90, almost 100 frames sometimes. But that is a gift that not many have. And depending on the game, even a card like that can struggle. Just how the cookie crumbles with development cycles. And then we have the indie scene constantly popping off with some of the best games we've seen in years. And it's like a top-down roguelike, or fucking, I don't know. Sorry, I can't think of anything other than Hades right now. It's just like forefront of my mind is one of the best indie games that's come out. Unexpectedly got the day off. Nice, good to see ya. Hope things are well. That must feel nice to not have to do anything. Oh, goodness. I'm currently collecting resources and talking about how most games these days are really graphically intensive. But yeah, it's all about what you personally enjoy. Some people are graphics horror, some people aren't. Just depends on the feel. I have my preference on what kind of games I like to play. I do lean more towards games looking better, as just a personal preference, but it's not like I don't play games that don't look great. Right, exactly. You can have a game that looks good and isn't destroying your PC. It just depends. And then as a counterpoint to that, what is it? One of the most prolific like indie horror series is those creepy games by Chilla's Art. And Chilla's, at least I don't know if it's one person or if it's a team, they straight up make the graphics look like it's PS1 era. And it works. It's creepy. You don't have to have your game. You don't have to have realistic blood pouring out of eyeball to make someone piss their pants. Yep. Portal. Wow. Portal has been out for 11 years. Portal 2. TF2 has been out for 16. And Minecraft has been out for 14. And they all still to this day are recognized as some of the best games. Yeah, PSX art, that's the one. Oh yeah, those annual horror game compilations. Very fun. It's basically like, if you think about it, it's basically like an indie game jam, except they're all focused on horror in the PlayStation style. It takes advantage of your nostalgia to creep you out, and that's super cool. I wish that more games did that. I can think of like the PlayStation aesthetic as a big one. I can think of the 8-bit, 16-bit era as a big aesthetic. You know what I don't see? I don't see a lot of like early 3D polygon stuff, you know? Like, I don't see a lot of games made in the style of like Mario 64 or Sonic Adventure or stuff like that. Maybe because that aesthetic was just a product of the times and we kind of outgrew it. Sort of. I mean that too, but I was mainly like the GameCube kind of look, you know? That's what I was sort of aiming for. I don't see that a lot. Another thing that comes to mind in that line of thought is like Klonoa, or like early PS, like the original Crash Bandicoot. That sort of not quite PSX style, which is very distinct, but like early voxel polygon sort of thing. You can definitely make an argument that there are games out there that are probably using that style. They're just not as popular. I genuinely do think we need more cosmic horror games, though, to circle back to that. We're at a severe lack of quality cosmic horror games. A lot of horror games take inspiration from cosmic horror, but it's never like explicitly about like Lovecraft kind of deals. I mean, we can cite a couple examples. Like Call of Cthulhu, which came out, I think, 5 years ago. Shadow over Innsmouth, which came out in 2006 and looks like Condemned Criminal Origins, where everyone looks like a pile of haggis. The Island, I think it's called, or something along those lines. Definitely a lack. Definitely a lack. But again, games take inspiration from cosmic horror without pulling directly from it. Yeah, TF2 does fall into that, but it's smoother. Like, it's noticeably smoother than something like Mario 64, which, by the way, still holds up. Mario 64 still holds up, and that game came out in 1995 or 6. Pretty amazing. It's definitely harping off of a nostalgia factor for sure, but you make some great stuff with it. You know what makes me laugh every time as well when it comes to like game design and aesthetic? The amount of, I wouldn't say classics, but absolutely memorable titles made in RPG Maker. Like, that was a huge scene throughout the 2000s and some of the early 2010s. It had a bit of a resurgence recently since Fear and Hunger got popular. But the amount of games that came out that were made in like RPG Maker or RPG Maker adjacent. Mad Father, Ao Oni, I think Ebe is in RPG Maker. I think so. That like pixelated top-down text box sort of thing. There's a bunch more I could cite. I just can't think of them right now. Oh, Gemini Omen. Yeah, Lethal Omen reminds me of that. Yes. Lethal Omen kind of reminds me of the aesthetic that like the polygon. That's still PSX kind of though. It's such a hard thing to pin. because they were all in that polygonal, hard word, polygonal era. Oh yeah, absolutely it resurfaced because of Super Eyebrow Wolf. I'm not saying it didn't. I had never heard of it, and then he did a video on it, and I'm like, wow, that game looks cool. I'm never gonna play it. Wow, that tree grew right in front of me. But yeah, that's absolutely why it regained popularity. It's funny how an influencer who makes genuinely great videos about games, life stuff, internet culture, and other things can suddenly make a game return to popularity by just talking about it a lot. That's another long-form content creator that I just cannot get enough of. What a great dude. The Garfield video, all the wrestling videos. How are we doing with the wood situation? Getting there with the trapdoors, getting there with the trapdoors. Such a drag. How many did I need? 13 stacks? We're almost at 9. Ugh. This is the main grind, and then I have to get slabs. That's the next one, but that's a lot quicker. Oh! Hi! Did you just spawn when I went down? Bruh. Ow. Oh, he had nothing. Great. These llamas are kind of stupid. They just shot at their owner. And each other. Free leads for me, thank you. I mentioned a lot that I basically have 2 attention spans. Extremely hyper-focused for long periods of time, and attention span of a gnat, which is roughly 30 seconds. So I get my fill both from quick meme content and sit-down long-form stuff. Also just lore. I've said this a million times. I love lore. Video game lore. Like book lore, life lore, world building, stuff like that. Oh, what's that? What's that one channel? I forget the name of it off the top of my head. But there's a channel that delves like exclusively into world building projects. Oh, what the hell is the name of the channel? Oh, Atrocity Guide. Yeah, I heard about is that wait? Atrocity Guide is not the one that Next's been working with for the haunted houses, is he? It might. I don't think it's world building notes, but again, I love Biblurity, and thank you so much for the recommendation. He's such a fantastic world builder. Oh, what the hell was it called? Hold on, I'm looking at this now. They did, whoever they were, they did a video on All Tomorrows by CM Kozman. CM Kozman, All Tomorrows. It's not Alt-Shift-X. Oh, did they not? Hang on. Yeah, by the way, the Alt-Shift-X video for CM Kozman's All Tomorrows is utterly famous and deserves all the accolades. No, not Beware the Q either. That's like almost exclusively. There it is. Curious Archive. Curious Archive. That's the one I was thinking of. Curious Archive does a ton of world building deep dives. To list off a few, like some really what is it called? Humanity. It's like Humanity Lost or something like that. Yeah, Electric State. Like Subnautica, like the biology of Subnautica, various world building art projects. Yeah, Curious Archive is the one I was thinking of. It's somewhat it's like pseudo-random, because it's from all walks of, like, world-building, lore, and, like, speculative bio. But, hey, there's something for everybody on that one. I've binged Curious Archive once or twice. Great background noise to listen to random lore stuff. Subnautica cladograms always bother me because people always do Kingdom Animalia but ignore, yeah, plants, funks, and yep. Ugh. Well, that's the thing with speculative bio is you have to know bio. By the way, I still to this day will never again will take biologists seriously because of the things, because of what they name animals, like scientific taxons and other things. It's just a regular reminder that all scientists are nerds. I mean, they take serious pride in their work, but listen, if you don't name a protein Sonic Hedgehog and a pig sus, yeah, There's clear reasoning behind some of the names. They just sound silly. But, you know, sometimes it's really not that high-minded. Because isn't, like, the most famous the most famous dinosaur to ever be researched, Tyrannosaurus Rex, isn't that just big tyrant lizard? Literally just a big tyrant lizard king. Which is an apt description, but it's just so on the nose. I mean, case in point, Nibbleridian did it with his speculative bio world. Everything is named somewhat literally because that's how you would name most things. I mean, listen, if it's got big wings, if it's a cockroach that flies and it's got big wings, you're gonna name it Big Flying Winged Cockroach or something like that. Because it's easier to describe it with what it is. Bone. I never really was super personally invested into biology. It's just not a field that caught my fancy. But it does, on one hand, seem like a very, very important field, of course, to, like, make sure that we understand the species around us and other things like that. But at the same time, they straight up take the piss out of it. And the number of times that they have named, like, a new species after a researcher or after some sort of nerd culture never ceases to amaze me. Favorite part about Rex is that they would make that deep crocodilian grumble that would vibrate the ground instead of roaring. They got little downy feathers, and most cursed of all because of their head shape and their jaw shape they had. Yeah, the whole, like, after we properly understood how like dinosaurs actually worked, a lot of the things that you see in like Jurassic Park are just straight wrong, and it's so much weirder. Obviously, we can't know 100% because they aren't alive anymore and have been dead for billions of years, but hey, that's the point of, like, that's the point of researching stuff like that. It's just funny to think that, that T-Rex had lips. It wasn't just this weird, lipless lizard. One of the most famous things about, explicitly T-Rex that it seems like not a lot of people truly understand, and it's kind of mind-blowing when you learn about it, yes, they were technically apex predators because of their size, and the amount of bite force and the amount of weight that they could put behind their attacks. But a large portion of the time, because they were, like, from what I understand, semi-solitary and required a lot of, like, resources to maintain their large size, they tended to lean towards scavenging more than they actually leant towards hunting. Obviously, you had hunters. You had pack hunters like most raptors, which sometimes raptors weren't even pack hunters. They were solitary hunters. You had, like, clades and other things that, you know, were active predators. But sometimes the big ones were just scavengers, because when you're that big, getting a kill every time and being a, macro predator, I think is the word for it. Not easy. Not easy all the time. Yeah, we know the colors because, yeah, that's super, super fun. Fun thing about that period in life history as well. Megafauna, that's the word. Fun thing about that period in Earth's history, especially like post Great Dying, is evolution just decided to say fuck it and do whatever the hell it wanted. We had long-necked sauropods. We had gliding lizards with wings on the back of their legs. It's just weird stuff because nature got to experiment to fill all the niches. And some stuff was successful, and some stuff was really not. Well, that's what happens. When mass extinction occurs, nature gets weird, because it's got a lot of things to fill in. And it happens every so often. Sometimes naturally, sometimes artificially. Okay, straight up, Anomalocaris. I don't know why people don't know about Anomalocaris. It's just, it's a sea crustacean that crunches stuff. And it's funny because it looks silly, but it's also, you know, an apex predator. Cambrian was wild. It'd be funny to see a legless sea lobster living today. Because that's basically what it was. It was the predecessor of all those. Crunch. Anomalocaris go crunch. It's weird how certain species throughout history stick out like that. Either because they're just so weird, or they're so particular to the time period that they just become forefront. Like everyone, again, when we talk about the dinosaur age, especially the Cretaceous era, everyone's like, "Oh, T-Rex." Yes, but the T-Rex was not the only apex predator, but not the weirdest or biggest thing to exist around that time. And if you go back to like the Triassic era, shit was weird. Things were even weirder. Can't forget our synapsid friends. Everyone loves to talk about the lizards, but no one talks about the synapsids. There's this great documentary, I think it was on the BBC, that always comes to mind. I think it's called Life Before Dinosaurs. I might have brought this up once or twice. And it talks about like all of the general like evolutionary steps. It's mainly focused on synapsids after you get to a certain point, because hey, synapsids are the predecessors to mammals and by extension us. But it talks about life before dinosaurs took over, and there's so much like biological history that just completely avoids being seen in the public eye because everyone's focused on the damn dinosaurs. My favorite is when they talk about like ancient crocodilians and like Dimetrodon and stuff like that as dinosaurs, and they were not. They were just not at all. But they get lumped in because, ooh, ancient bio. Yeah, but no. It's not how that works. Yeah. It's so weird to think of how complicated... Dimetrodon is such a good insult. It's so weird to think about how throughout, like, biological history, where stuff came from. Like, stuff doesn't just evolve out of nowhere. There's either an evolutionary pressure or some sort of adaptation that develops into XYZ thing, and it just becomes, like, a normal part of evolution. Eyes have convergently evolved hundreds of times. Ears have convergently evolved hundreds of times. Flight has convergently evolved quite a number of times. Vertebrate versus invertebrate. What is it? Hemolymph versus circulatory system. Stuff like that. And hey, we still have animals living today that are basically a cornerstone of evolutionary history. And either they've been like isolated into an island or went missing for millions of years. Like the tuatara or the coelacanth or stuff like that. It's like pointing a telescope up to the stars and seeing a galaxy far away and knowing that it's literally millions of years old when you look at it. Actually, scratch that. Billions of years old because of how fast light travels. But we get to actually see them and they exist, and it's cool. Bio's cool. I would never major in it, but it's very interesting. Oh, did I just break that path? What a mess. In truth, though, Bibluridian has opened my eyes to a lot of, like, evolutionary bio stuff. It's both a fun world-building tool and genuinely informative bio, which is extremely helpful. Doing research for spec bio, decided everything should run on glucose instead of ribose. So I'm like, okay, let's make a hypothetical GNA. And then spent 5 hours talking with 2 biologists and chemists figuring out how the very real GNA works. What? I mean, when you think about it, yeah, ribose is incredibly important, but glucose is just as simple as a carbohydrate, isn't it? So, in a weirdly backwards way, yeah, that kind of makes sense. That's just a funny thought. And that's the funny thing about biology is, yes, we're basically 1 in a million, if not 1 in a billion. But you know, Earth is weird. Earth's fucking weird. The fact that we don't have silicate-based life forms is purely a downside of physics. People have done speculative bio on that sort of stuff too. It's much more of a biological fiction because if I'm not mistaken, silicon and water kind of hate each other. So that would be quite difficult to create life out of silica compared to carbon. But if you get the perfect concoction, it could work. This is incredibly high-minded talk. May actually have silicon life, but we'd really have no way to check. They'd have to live inside of molten silicate. Yes, they'd have to live inside of like silicate rock. Yep. The main point of like speculative bio when it comes to silicate-based life forms is people have tried to theorize a way of how to get those sorts of life forms to exist in a like analog of how carbon-based life forms work, and it's not the same because air and water hate silicon. It oxidizes it. So you really can't make the two work together. You could try, but you're gonna fail. It reminds me of that, what was it, that Melody Sheep video talking about life beyond Earth, and bringing up silicate-based life forms and how difficult it would be for that to properly exist, and we would never know. It's like being a third-dimensional creature staring into the fourth dimension and expecting a life form to exist there. You'd never know, because you just physically can't. It's impossible. Where did I put this tree? Making progress on the resource collection. This is why I ramble about stuff, because it makes the repetitive nature of this very much not horrible. Yep, false twins, but silicon bonds break off easier, so to result in more bizarre evolution that would not do very well and have high cancer analog rate. Yep. Not to mention that because silicon has a much higher, is a much larger atom, electrons fly away from it easier and can bond much faster. Carbon is incredibly unique because of how stable it is. Silicon, on the other hand, while it is the same kind of atom, it's mostly metastable, and it reacts much faster and much more volatile. I mean, think about it this way. If someone were to fire a gaseous silica at a human being, it would immediately react with the moisture in their eyeballs to create silicon, I think it's silicon dioxide, and your eyes would crystallize. And it's like, that's not cool. That's super not cool. Yeah, if there was any silica-based life, they would have to be very small. You could not have complex life that's based on silicon. It would be detrimental. Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, silicon's bad. Silicon's bad. There's a reason why asbestos is bad. Anti-protest gas. There's a reason why asbestos is bad. Asbestos is small silica particles, and it can get in your lungs and literally shred you to pieces because it's like glass. Silica's not good. Silica, silicates, and silicon all are bad. And it's such a shame too, because when you look at the periodic table, they're right next to each other vertically. But hey, we've proven that that while the periodic table follows trends and like valence bonds and electron count and atoms and all these things, two elements that are vertically leveled with each other don't necessarily act the same. Case in point, the halogens, chlorine, fluorine, bromine, iodine, they don't act the same at all. Bromine's a liquid, iodine's a solid that sublimates. And then you have chlorine and fluorine, which are both gases. One makes hydrochloric acid, which is a very strong acid. Yeah, neon versus argon, exactly. One makes hydrochloric acid, which is a very, very potent acid that is used in a lot of chemical reactions. And the other makes hydrofluoric acid, which is weirdly stable and has a much lower effective reactivity, but also can basically destroy anything if it's allowed to be exposed enough. And you'd think, oh, fluorine's much smaller, so it reacts quicker. Not necessarily. Chlorine's the bad one. If there's anything in like general science classes that I did genuinely enjoy, it was chemistry. Again, not a field that I personally had interest in experimenting with, but I love me some chemistry. I watch Nile Red and Chemiolus now. I used to watch like Nerd Rage. I still watch Explosions and Fire. There's a bunch of chemistry channels on YouTube who just teach you cool stuff. Like how you can turn plastic gloves into grape soda. Or how you can make cubane, which is literally a carbon lattice that in the shape of a cube. Thank you, Adams. Very cool. There's an entire hydrocarbon named Buckminster fullerene, which is just a spherical lattice of 60 carbon atoms that basically looks like a soccer ball. And it was named after a guy named Buckminster Fuller. Chemistry's weird too. I just like science. I think I made that clear. I just like science. Science is fun. Oh, we're almost there. And I can move on to the other stuff that I have been sort of ignoring. Because this is not all the material I'm going to need, it's just this hard grinding. Hold on, let me double check the list one more time. 31 and 54. 13 and 20. How we doing? We're at 10 and 48. How we doing on this? Oh, I actually probably want to put these down here. Just to make way for the stone. Okay, 10 and 48. We're at 27. I need 31. Is that my pickaxe? Yes, I do. But yeah, much like a lot of other things that I have either fleeting or intense interest in, and I know weird trivia about that sort of stuff. I once at one point, it was obviously like an endearing term, but I was once called an encyclopedia just because of the random things I knew about XYZ topic. It's never practical. It really is never practical. But if someone asks me like, hey, do you know X about Y? And I'll be like, yeah, actually, I heard that this. And they'll go, really? And I'm like, yeah, that's what I heard. I don't remember where I heard it from or who I heard it from. But I thought it was interesting, so I kept it as a memory, and now I can apply it to something. Honestly, knowing stuff's cool. Normalize knowing stuff. Obviously, don't let it go to your head, because no one really cares that much. But hey, you'll find that person who's like, wow, you know this about this? And I'm like, yeah. It's just something I learned. I said earlier, I win a lot of trivia games. I have played, what is that Jackbox game? Trivia Murder Party with a lot of people over time. Usually a similar friend group, but it varies. But I have, I'm trying so desperately not to toot my own horn here, but it's just funny to think about. If I lose a Trivia Murder Party game, it's because of the end bit where a bunch of different answers come up and you sometimes get disadvantaged because you can only pick 2 and everyone else gets to pick 3. But for the majority of it, unless it's a question about like sports or something that I have actually zero interest in, I'm usually not wrong. I spend a lot of time just learning about random things. Because it's fun. I'm a very logical person, I've noticed that. I like logic and reason. I like logic and reasoning behind stuff. One of those why type people. Everyone goes outside. This is such a dumb statement, but it's funny to me. Everyone goes outside, looks at the sky, and goes, wow, the sky's blue. Some people go out and say, but why is the sky blue? Why are we on this earth with a blue sky? And you know what? While I say that in jest, I probably have done that once or twice. Not explicitly that, but like asked why about something that might not necessarily be important. It's good to ask why. You never ask why. You sort of live with no knowledge of stuff. How many ink sacs do I have? We're actually gaining a bit of a economy here, and I don't think I've ever hunted any squids. Squid. Alright, we're at 11 and 42. Getting there. Getting it done. Slowly but surely. Oh, goodness gracious. I've been really stiff. Probably because I don't stretch that often. I'm starting to exercise again after a very long time of not doing it, and I'm all sore. Oh god, 104 Fahrenheit? Oh, carry like a portable fan with you or something. That's terror. Good luck on your adventure. Don't melt. Thank you for the hydration. Man, I can't wait to go back home in August and be in sweltering heat because I live on a coast. That'll be fun. I heard there's like an El Nino weather condition this year or something, which is even better. Oh. Oh. Every time I hear weather in Texas in the past couple of years, it has been... Oh. Literally, it froze over, and then it burned, and then it froze over, and then it burned. Houston, we have a problem. The thermostat's off it's off the rails. How are we doing? Oh, this is a 27, 28. I hate doing mental math all the time for these damn blocks. Oh, no secrets? Conserve AC power because it's so hot that so many people are using their ACs. The power grid is struggling. Wow. Just ask Florida. Florida seems to have it good. Since they're literally a swamp. I'm sure Texas could get some good advice from Florida in that regard. That's what happens though, is you don't prepare for extreme weather, and then all of a sudden extreme weather becomes the norm and stuff breaks down. Oh, I didn't know that. That's brutal. Monopolizing the power grid. I mean, up in the Northeast, basically everything's national grid, so I get it. But like, come on, have some competition. Then again, if I remember correctly, the reason why that is because didn't Texas set up its power grid basically separate from the rest of the U.S. Before it properly merged and became a state? So it's just kind of a different. Like if you look at a heat map of what companies control what, it's like the West Coast has one, the East Coast has the other, and then Texas is just its own thing. I think. I don't know. The state that forever wants to make you think it's its own thing. It basically is. 24, I need 54. Oof. Corporate energy. $42. I could probably get a little extra. Might as well complete the stack. Doesn't seem to understand it's the Lone Star State. It's prideful of its heritage. And it's the only one who can make that case. Unless we count Hawaii and Alaska, because they're not even connected to the mainland. That's a whole different can of worms. Yeah, if there's any one state in the U.S. who really cares about its state. It's like as a like a state nationalism level, not as a like they actually care. It's Texas. Texas loves Texas. If there's anything that Texas loves more than Texas, it's Texas. Oh yeah, I agree. I sometimes forget that Hawaii is like a US state because it feels so as a mainlander, it feels so exotic. You forget, like, you see pictures of the tourist stuff. Yeah, that too. But you see pictures of the tourist stuff for Hawaii and it's like, wow, this state looks really crazy. It looks like you're going to the Bahamas, but you actually go and yeah, that's the tourist spots, but it's like normal American suburbia in places. Even the ethnic diversity is kind of the same. It's much more like Native Hawaiian, Filipino, stuff like that. But it's still just a US state. It's basically like going to Massachusetts to experience like old colonial America. You go to Hawaii to experience Hawaiian culture, but it's still just a US state. That's the dichotomy of tourism versus regular life. That's everywhere though. Every country has that. Living, like being a tourist and vacationing is one thing. Living there is a whole different ballgame. It's just kind of life. It's not really special. There's of course sights to see and places to go and things like that, but if you're a republic or republic adjacent, every country's kind of the same. Truly. It's the culture that makes it different. Thanks for sticking around. Try not to melt out there. But yeah, enough of that. We're almost done with the resource collection, and then I can start doing the niche stuff. Slowly but surely. Oh, I forgot to make bread. Speaking of that, that is one thing that I desperately do want to learn how to do is bake. I'm not a fantastic cook. I can read an instruction book and make something at least passable. But I do want to learn how to bake because making bread and pastries and things like that seems like a good use of culinary skill. And of course, I don't know if I brought him up. I might have brought him up to my mom. Yeah, I definitely did. There's this, I think I brought him up once. There's a guy called B. Dylan Hollis on TikTok and YouTube who does old-timey pastries and stuff. And some of those recipes genuinely look fun, and they don't look like they're hard recipes at all. And that's something I would want to do. If I could, of course. It's not the easiest thing in the world. All right, cobble's done. I need a little more than 2 stacks of trapdoors. If I can fill these in, we'll be good. And then I can start working on the other resources. We're almost there. The one thing that's actually going to be a little difficult to get, I realize, is snow. I do have to go find, like, a mountaintop or something. I don't need that many blocks, but I do have to make snow golems. I feel like I've discovered a snow biome somewhere around here. I must have. If I didn't, that's a damn shame. I could always go to the end and go up and check. Or I could look for a biome with the what is it, chunk base? Chunk base. I used it last time to look for the cherry blossom. I shamelessly will use that because searching for hours to find nothing is probably my least favorite part of Minecraft because I'm not an adventurer. It's not my style. I like building stuff. Gives me energy, gives me a reason. Oh, nothing. Okay. Oh, no, the axe broke. Because I was hitting leaves. That's on me. think I got all the... I really hope I did. I think I got all the logs on this section. Yep. Cool. Good old cyclic planting, mining. Let's see how many trapdoors this will make me. I hope it's a lot. It's going to be interesting to see a cobble and acacia build. I think I've ever done anything like this. It's also nighttime. Should probably sleep again. But yeah, because of how long the resource gathering is going to get, I'm going to get as much as possible and then call it. This has taken far longer to prep for than the Ender Farm. Definitely. I was kind of expecting that. I just didn't realize how many resources it was. Gotta make another X. Again, I'm no Psycraft guy. I'm never gonna like put that much time and energy into making a build. But it's nice to follow a guide and have something that works. It's also a nice thing about building automated builds like this. It's nice to have that... Hello? Oh, hey! Goodbye! Thanks for the grass block. It's nice to have an automated build that is basically, I wouldn't say future-proof, but helps you out in the future. Future-proof would mean that it wouldn't be affected by any changes made in the future. But it's like, it's having a, it's having something that even if it won't be super practical now, it will be later. It's like a contingency plan. It's like a contingency plan. In case everything goes wrong, still have gunpowder. And I like having those. I wouldn't have made nearly as much progress as I have if I didn't have that iron farm up there. It's tiny and kind of inefficient if I'm not in the loaded chunk, but it's still has gotten me super far. That's something that, like, even if you're not an industrial player, is so important if you're gonna play for long periods. And I never used to for some reason. Guess because I was never focused on that. I mean, you could also use iron blocks as part of a build too. So having like an extra, like a ton of iron, extremely helpful. That plus it's like almost a necessity for beacons. If you're the world's most hardcore miner, you can get everything that you possibly could want, of course. But the amount of time it takes to mine all those iron blocks for one max beacon, I'd rather just use some resources and make a farm. Far less time consuming. Speaking of, I probably should get a beacon soon. It's not a necessity right now, it's mainly for aesthetic purposes, but if I ever need to build something close by that's going to take a while or requires excessive mining or anything like that, having like a haste buff or something would be helpful. I remember in that same server that I had built a what farm was it? I mentioned I had built a farm on one of my old survival servers. It's that same server though. I built a what would you call it? Like a sextuple beacon, I guess. It's 6 beacons stacked together. But the bases are conjoined. So instead of being shaped like a perfect pyramid, it's sort of shaped like a rectangular pyramid with the top node being 6. And I remember constantly going over to my quad iron farm, which was 4 of these, and just grabbing as much iron as I possibly could, turning them into blocks, and then turning that into the base. And it was nice because if you make a sextuple beacon, if you get the resources to make 6 beacons, you can have every single buff active at once. You put one to have 2 buffs, and then you put every other one to have 1 buff going. It is the definition of min-maxing. Does it require a ton of resources? Yeah, it does. But do you get everything all at once, even if it's kind of useless? Also, yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 24. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. All right. We need 16 buttons. Now the rest of it's gonna be quick. Or quick enough. All right. We need 16 buttons, 13 fences. Gotta see how many I actually have. And it's raining again. I have 2. Okay. I grab the fence gates, the slabs. Do we need any stairs? Nope. I do need hoppers, though, so we're gonna need even more wood. I might as well use wood slabs. They're cheap. I need a lot of chests and hoppers, so gonna need even more wood than I already have. The trapdoors are done, though. That was the big thing. And if I ever need to... The nice thing about the specific gunpowder farm I'm building is it's modular. So you can continuously stack it upwards. But if I ever want to stack it upwards, I'm gonna have to get all these resources again. Not the chests and the hoppers and all that, mind you, but the blocks and the trapdoors and yeah. It makes it more efficient by increasing the height. But it's definitely a commitment. But I am no one if not committed to something like this. It may take a long time, but it's accomplished at the end. You feel that sense of accomplishment. Only time you don't is if it's something like a sunk cost fallacy, where you put so much time into something that if you don't finish, it feels even worse. So you kind of have to force yourself over the finish line. That's when it can feel a little gross, but most of the time it's accomplishing. All right. Let's see how many slabs I can make. I can turn a stack into 2 stacks. Let's do that. Let's turn 1 stack of these... Hi, Iron Golem. Let's turn 1 stack of these into 2 stacks, which is more than enough. And I'll have some spare slabs in case I ever need to do anything. Oh, actually, no. I can do it a different way. There we go. I can make 120 instead of... what would it be? 128? So I'm not using every single slab. All right, there's that. I need 13 fences. Eight. 14. That's more than enough. It's actually 1 extra, which is... Oh! Such pain. It's always good to have a little excess. 13 fences, 12 hoppers, so that's 12 chests, so that's 24 logs. Well, actually, hold on. How many chests can I make? 8? Yes. All right, I need a lot more because I need to make normal chests on top of the hoppers. Collecting wood. I'm glad I switched these over to acacia because it would have been such a pain in the ass to wait for 4 trees to grow. Rather than, how many am I even growing? 12? 12. 12. Because of the number of chests that I've had to, like, make now, I have it ingrained in my brain that every 2 logs is 1 chest. I could be counting it out, but it's just funny to think that that conversion is now central to what I'm thinking when I cut logs down. It's like when you finally realize how to convert, like, fluid ounces to cups and things like that, which I still have to look up, even to this day. Like, how many fluid ounces are in a cup? Measurements are hard. Okay. The logs are gone, so that should go away now. Cool. I can make 14 more chests. Which, 14 plus 8 is... I think that's perfect. 22. Oh, I need 2 more. Let me just steal some wood just in case I need it for later. Up. I was close. I was off by a very small factor. Okay, 24. So we have 12 chests, and I'm going to have 12 hoppers. 5 times 12 is 60, so I need a stack of iron. Math. I love math. Sun going up or coming down? Rise in the east, sets in the west. I don't even know which direction I'm facing. 48, 56, 60. Yahoo! It is setting. Okay. Oh, so that's east. Oh, this Minecraft is mirrored. And then my entire compass is thrown off. Hoppers. 12 hoppers, 12 chests. Artist things are the last little set that I have to get. Hoppers, chests. I'm going to need soul campfires. That requires soul soil, right? Hold on. Also requires logs, which I actually have some of. Cannot make. Soul. Can't spell. Oh, soul sand or soil and 3 logs. So I'm gonna need 9 times 3, 27. 27 logs. I have more than enough sticks. 27. I probably have enough soul sand too, because I've traded with that damned piglin. That's all he seems to want to give me. Also, don't remember if I named the piglin. Sort of an afterthought, truly, but probably help. As an identifier. See if I can grab those birch logs and use those instead of constantly getting acacia. Oh, that was the exact chest that I needed. Ooh. And 1 more for good measure. Yeah, let me go check that. I'm gonna have to cut down another tree anyway because I need fence gates. But let me go check that chest with all my nether stuff in it and see if I kept any soul sand in there. I bet you any money there's a chest back home with it. But I might have put soul sand in this chest. I know I put quartz and netherrack in here. Shit. Okay, it's probably back home. I really hope I didn't get rid of any soul sand, because I do not want to go and find it. It's relatively common, but still. Jeez, that golem is nearly dead. Probably could heal him with some iron if I wanted. But he's screwing with the farm so he can die whenever he wants. Double check this. We have 16 soul sand. I'm shocked that it's even here. Came in handy. That's why you very occasionally keep resources that you might think are useless. It's actually super helpful for making basalt, if you need that as building material. 9 soul campfires. Oh, I actually had too many logs. Whoops. I don't think I did my math correctly, but oh well. Oh, and I can put these back. Alright, 9 soul campfires. What's the difference between normal campfire and soul campfire? Might be that you can't extinguish the soul ones. I don't know, I probably looked that up. Only a couple more things to make with wood. Fence gates. And that's it. And then is snow and scaffolding, and then we're done. Which I probably should have cut down the birch, not the birch, the bamboo. But I'd never think ahead. I was thinking the moment. I mean, I can't say I never think ahead, but I'm impulsive. Alright, let's turn this into wood. I don't know how many I'm gonna need for a fence gate. I only need 7. I think I have enough. Sticks too. Nope. Did not have enough sticks. One, 2, 3. Here we go. 8 fence gates. Just make sure that everything else in the list is set and ready. Oh, up here. All right. Slabs, button, fence, hopper, chest, soul campfire, fence gate, bed, 2 water, carved pumpkin, which I'm gonna grab some shears and put it there. Actually, let me move this over so I can put the shears there. Snow block, torch, scaffoldings, temporary blocks, piston lever. Hopefully I can get a full stack of scaffolding. I don't know if I have enough string to do it, but I'll have 120. I might have enough. I might have just enough string. Because it's 16 per, right? Six per. Never mind. I thought it was 16. Maybe window panes I'm thinking of. It's probably window panes. Unless that's 8. I don't know. Haven't made window panes for any reason in a while. We're so close. Ooh, I forgot to replant the bamboo. That would have been bad. That would have been bad. Still have the bone meal on me? No, I put it away. Should be in here. Yep. Place the bones where they should go. That would have been bad. I would have completely ran out of bamboo and not had any way to replace it. There we go. Gotta love how it just never falls in a straight line. Always at an angle. Okay. 26, that should be enough, I think. Let's go double check. Scaffolding. 12 plus. Ooh, we're like too short. That's fine. I don't have to be perfect. I have spare blocks. Yeah, because 50... Yeah, it's just short. Unless I have spare scaffolding that I don't know about. Nope. Okay, just had to make sure. I will put the bamboo back in the plants, though. And acacia back where it goes. Okay. Let me just make sure that the only thing I need is the snow blocks. Let's see. Button, fence, hopper, chest. Button, fence, hopper, chest. Soul campfire, fence gates, bed, water, carved pumpkin, snow block, torch, scaffolding, temporary blocks, twisted lever, and then we have all the big blocks here. Gotta grab those shears. And then I have to look for a snow biome. So I can use this shovel and get some snow blocks. Did I have shears in here? I don't be in the tool chest. Guess not. Why do I have iron on me? There you go. I actually don't think I have any snow. No snowballs, no nothing. So of all the things that's gonna take me a second, it's gonna be the snow. Let me just check. That'll tell me whether or not... Do I even have spruce? I do have spruce. I don't know where I got it from. I have clay as well. All right. Pardon me while I look up chunk base, because this is the last thing I have to do. Chunk base. That way I can find a close by snow biome. I also need to check my seed. Seed! Oh dear. That's a big boy. That's a big boy seed. Biome detector. Make sure it's up on the screen. Alright, we have 180310. These feel like nuclear launch codes. 750 458 8854221. Version 1.19. Where am I right now, actually? Also, are you... Wow, are you kidding me? Hold on. Where am I right now? I am at -302, -152. So let me scroll to that quick. -302. -302, -152. Right, so I'm on the river right outside of my house. So if I want to get to snow... Oh my god. Are you kidding me? There's barely any snow. There's barely any snow at all. Are you kidding me? I'd have to find mountains. Hold on. Let's see. Mountains. Bruh. Okay. Negative 800, negative 800. Well, okay. I know where I'm going now. Because there's no snow biomes around for miles. And I'm not even kidding here. The closest snow biome I saw was like at like negative 2000. It was back when I was exploring with the fox and such. So I need to head this way. That way. That way. Until that says 800, 800. Roughly. I have a shovel on me, right? Yes. Does it have unbreaking on it? Yes. Whoops. Did not intentionally mean to do that. If I find snow along the way on a biome that I didn't recognize had snow, I will take advantage of that. But it looks to me like that's where we're headed, is a mountain. Last pit stop. I probably can make a... what is that called? An ice farm. If I get high enough elevation in this biome, I think. Also, there's a beehive there. Negative 400, negative 300. Making good progress. Thankfully, this many blocks away actually isn't that far. Yeah, I'd have to travel for a literal mile. Hi, wolf. I don't see it. Probably because it's completely out of render distance. I remember back when I started, I mentioned how it was nice that I spawned in a jungle biome next to a savanna, because I normally spawn in tundras or straight up snowy biomes. The fact that I just looked at chunk base for this seed, and there are basically no snow biomes anywhere near me is a shock to the system. Did not realize how far flung this stuff is. But we are on approach. Yeah, that looks like mountains to me. Hopefully they're snow-capped. That looks like snow to me. The Himalayas out here. Well, not that extreme. It's still a fun geology fact to remember that India is its own tectonic plate and smashed into the southern Asian plate and just made the biggest mountains that exist today. Like, just imagine, stare at a geography map and just imagine India just floating upwards, smashing hard into Asia, and just big old mountains show up. That's how we got the Himalayas. Llamas! What a sight for sore eyes! A pack of llamas! Or alpacas. Same word, different meaning. No. Different word, same meaning. I said that backwards. Ah, snow. Problem is, I didn't really bring any blocks to climb. So I'll go the hard way. Good old snow-capped mountains. I knew I'd find at least something. How far up does this go? Aha. I know, I'm digging dirt with a pickaxe. Shame on me, shame on me. There we go. I need 32, I think. So, and I really have to clear this whole thing out. Also, I think my shovel is too efficient. Oh, I can use it on the... Yeah, up here, up here, up here. If I use it on the stone won't... The stone won't... destroy itself. Yeah, my shovel is too efficient. This is why high-efficiency shovels sometimes are bad. Alright, let me double-check that, that guide one more time, just to make sure that's as many as I need. Yep, 32. Okay. Ah! I hope there's enough snow up here for 32. I literally have to just lightly click or else I break the block. That's why sometimes you have to bring a burner shovel. Especially for stuff like this. Ah. Ah! I have failed you. Oh wow, that immediately grew over in the grass. Couldn't even see where the damage was done because it's immediately gone. Is there savanna on top of this mountain too? This is a crazy biome. Getting free dirt for my efforts though. 16, halfway there. Oh yeah, we're gonna have more than enough. It's definitely to do with the attack speed. If you make a tool too efficient, your attack speed overrides the natural, like, because normally when you're aggressively mining or digging stuff, if your tool isn't fully upgraded, you have this small attack speed penalty, where when you go from one block to the next, you sometimes have to click again. Not with a high efficiency shovel or a high efficiency pickaxe in the Nether. You just break every block in front of you. It's pretty brutal. Also, this is probably the first time I'm going to be making snow golems in this server. Not server. Single player world. I keep saying server because I'm used to saying that. Let's check. 2 more. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it'll grow back over, and I can come back anytime I want and get more. Look at that. You just make sure I fill in all the holes that I've made here. All right. 32. And we return. Oh no. The fact that there are alpacas and chickens in a similar spot, it's very silly. All right, back home. That was a quick run. I was expecting to have to go and find a snow biome, but I forget that the mountaintops exist sometimes. Look at this world, by the way. Just gotta stop and take a breath at the just the simplicity and the wonder that is base game Minecraft. And this is straight up just forest, like simple plains and forest, and this is, I'm pretty sure, a river. It's nothing special, but the game just looks good. It might actually be a birch forest over there. And I like that. I've always liked this aesthetic of the blocks. I would circle back around to that graphics conversation, but I've already said my piece. If a game's fun, enjoy it. Doesn't matter if it's high spec or low spec or whatever. Games are meant to be played, not stared at, you know? So if it looks good and plays good, that's a double bonus. If it plays good, who cares how it looks? Is there a floating block up there? World Gen, you have failed me! Oh, I see why, because it's one of those, like, crag peaks. It generates really sharp. Where are we, by the way? Okay, still should be going this way. Just had to double check that my diagonal wasn't off. Because I remember a time before I tried to beeline it back to the house, and I went around because I wasn't paying attention to the chords. I remember where my house is though. I literally just inputted on chunk base, so if I forgot that fast, I'm truly not long for this world. Why did I think I could slide on? It's not an FPS game. Can't slide. Be fun though. I'm sure there's like advanced movement mods or something. Hey, there's my house. Ow. Look at this village lit up at night. Such a quaint little compact. It's still a village, but it's slowly becoming like a town. I like that. All right, snow blocks acquired. Let's do one last once over to make sure. 31 stacks. There's 27 here. 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Yep. 13 and 20. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Well, 13 and a half, which is exactly what it asked for. 100 slabs. We have 120. 16 buttons. 14 fences. We only need 13. 12 hoppers. 12 chests. 9 soul campfires. 8 fence gates. A bed. 2 waters. Shears for the pumpkins, which I could probably do right now, but nah. Snow block. Torch. Enough scaffolding to carry me up to the limit. Dirt. Lever. Piston. Dunzo. That was a lot of gathering. And all of this, basically, I had none of these resources prepared. So that was all me. That was 100% me. Phew. Collecting resources is definitely time-consuming, if nothing else. But yeah, I'm gonna stop here because I know if I start building this thing, we're gonna be here for another like hour and a half. And again, like I said, trying to mitigate my schedule a little bit to be healthy and not override. Keep it on task. So with that, next time I will be sure to build the actual gunpowder farm. And hopefully I'll find a good spot to put it so it's not a massive fixture. I actually kind of like that spot up there. We'll see. But anyway, for anyone who turned in during the stream, thank you so much. Always happy to chat, and also very happy to be back after a little bit of a mental hiatus. For anyone watching the VOD, good to see you as well. Hope you enjoyed the gameplay, the chill chats, and the utter chaos that I have finally brought back. I'll be back tomorrow with some more Pokemon, which my Switch works this time, so I'm not worried about that. But yeah, 5 streams like I normally do. Getting back in the swing of things. Had a bunch of fun. Hope you did too. Have a good rest of your day, and see you later. Bye-bye.